I actually do disagree with
I think
Harry.
Parker actually does disagree
on
with
two
me.
things. On two things, I do think that there's cognitive decline with both Trump and Biden, right? And I also do believe that both of them shouldn't be allowed to run for president because I think they have met a particular age cap. Like I think
Also, it's not true that I've met Biden.
Actually, I've met Trump too as well.
Yeah, I met Trump and Obama too, and I talked to them both, Obama and Hillary.
Wait.
Do you have like schizophrenia? Like what's going on?
They were actually like recorded. Like he literally, you can see on his.
Okay, well, if you have the videos on your page, and I won't say other. I won't. Okay.
Literally, watch the video.
Okay, here I'll show you the picture of me and Biden. Look at this. Look at us.
Okay.
That guy's pretty funny, man.
Why are you talking about
Look at
this?
that,
What
me
does
and
this have
Joe.
to do with
That's
anything?
an AI picture. It's an AI.
It's
picture.
an AI picture. It's fake, by the way. It's fake.
People can do that now.
Do you think that's an AI photo?
Let me see it again.
This guy must be trolling, dude.
I don't know.
That's
No,
real.
what if-
I saw that picture.
Yeah,
That's
it
real.
might be real.
Totally
What about this
AI.
video of me like with him?
Nope, that's AI. That's not. That's an AI deep fake.
No, I think that one's actually real, Parker.
Okay. Okay. So guys, the video is real, but the photo of us together is fake. Okay. Got it.
No, I think it's both real, but what does this have to do with anything? You guys should pivot.
Because you were saying that I didn't meet Joe Biden, and I'm saying that the reason I know to Joe Biden to be mentally fine is number one, there's a medical report that was released this year on WhiteHouse.gov. It was done by a bunch of neurologists who
I
work.
thought
at,
you said earlier the white.govs aren't reliable.
No. WhiteHouse.gov is different than an archive page.
Actually, you did.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
he
Trump
said that to me.
Oh
I
my
pulled up
god!
the page.
Can you guys stop speaking? Can you guys stop speaking?
Yeah, he's explaining.
So the
Okay.
Trump archive page was written specifically by Trump appointees and Trump employees in the White House about his achievements. Whereas WhiteHouse.gov generally can include a number of things, such as medical reports of the president that are not written by any Biden appointees or Biden employees of the White House. These are just a medical report that was done by doctors at Walter Reed, and this report is on WhiteHouse.gov right now. You can go read it for yourself. It was done by a number of neurologists, experts in this field, and they found that Biden has no neurology issues as of 2024. It was done this year.
This year it
so,
happened?
Did you say? Wait. Did you say urology or neurology?
What the fuck do you think I said? Just out of curiosity.
What is
in the
urology?
context of this conversation, what do you think I said?
What is urology?
Definitely urology.
Yeah, I
don't
definitely said
know.
urology. No, you're right. You're
I
right.
thought you said
in the
urology.
context of the conversation, I definitely said urology. That's for sure.
What does that mean?
No, no, seriously, Harry. I thought you said urology. I thought
did
you
not
made
say
a Floridian
urology.
slip.
No, I did not say
You know what,
urology.
Angel? I think the problem with these guys is that they're both atheists. They just have no morals, and they've never had morals. And
Okay,
I don't
they're
think.
definitely trolling, dude.
Yeah, this guy has
Yeah,
to be
okay,
trolling.
yeah, we're trolling. When you were
No,
just the one who said that,
I don't
Joe
agree with
Biden
that at
is
all.
a
I
Wait,
little
don't-
tiny.
Trump. I have a
don't-
question. Are you Christian, Trump?
I'm Christian.
Okay, so have you read 1 Samuel 15:3?
I've read as much as I possibly can.
Okay, so
but
in 1 Samuel 15:3, God commands Saul and his men to slaughter men, women, children, and infants. If God commanded you to kill an Amalekite infant, would you do it?
if God commanded me to kill an infant, would I do it?
Yeah.
Well, how would I know that it was God who told me to do that?
Let's just say you have certainty it's God.
Like I know
Like
God told me that.
Jesus literally comes down to you.
Well, can God Himself can become possessed by the devil, right?
Okay, yeah, they're definitely trolling.
Yeah, you
What?
have to be trolling, dude. You have to be trolling.
What, do you not? Have you read the
Harry,
Bible?
I
Have
don't
you
even
read the
agree with
Bible?
that.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think. I don't know. That's kind of. I don't know if he really told me to do that.
Okay,
then I
enough of
would
that
have to
stuff
do it.
anyway. Who cares about that shit, right? So,
Oh, yeah. Okay, the troll's
I
gone.
don't even
Sorry,
agree with
troll.
that, Harry.
Go,
So
go find
anyway.
another life to troll. Mimi, thanks for the $2. I appreciate
yeah,
you.
that was
Thanks
just
so
that
much.
was
Oh, look at that. Hold on.
that was
This is a
just
good
weird. I
message.
didn't even know where that came
Parker,
from.
I want to know why you run your whole platform off of like despising God. And
Molly, thank you so much for the
I think
$15 on
you guys
Venmo.
have,
Thank you so
gained
much.
You guys have gained a
Thank you,
platform
Molly.
based off of dissing people who are religious.
Dissing? How am I dissing you?
We don't
for being
diss anybody
religious?
that's
Every
religious.
other sentence. Parker, what is your religion? Do you believe in science? Is that what you follow?
That's not a religion. I just believe in
What is your
facts.
religion?
Wait, platform.
Oh my God.
Wait,
You
facts
believe
that
dinos
change.
existed?
Facts
Platform, did
that
dinos
change.
exist? Did
Parker,
dinosaurs
facts that
exist?
change. I didn't know facts. Wait,
Platform,
facts that change.
did dinosaurs exist?
No, he's not one of these. Come on.
Yes, dinosaurs existed.
Oh,
Harry,
so
this
you
guy's
believe
going to turn
science?
me into a Democrat,
Parker, this is
man.
what you
You
try to
should
do.
be. I mean, when you
try
hear
to
stuff
turn,
like this,
you
man.
try to ask these stupid questions and try to get to gotcha. It doesn't work, Parker.
Wait, no,
so
but you
answer
believe
my
in
question.
science. So, like,
You
of course you believe in
All right,
science, too.
I was really hoping that we'd talk about politics, but we're talking about dinosaurs.
Well, the problem is, Angel, is Parker and
I'm
Harry
sorry, this
and
guy's
Dean,
insane.
they run their whole platforms off of hating Christians, and then they get followers.
What about
Wait,
this
wait,
is
wait.
hating
And
Christians?
then
I
they-
just
Wait,
don't
the
yeah,
first
tell
understand.
me,
question
tell
they
me what
ask-
Harry did. Tell
Yeah,
me
tell
what
me.
Harry did.
You say
Parker,
I built a
Parker.
platform off of hating Christians. I don't even talk
more,
about religion.
More
in
Parker
here.
and Dean. More Parker and Dean. But you guys associate
Okay,
each other.
okay,
so I
so
assume
you get-
all of you.
Hey,
you
hey,
all
I don't
have
even
the
think
same
Parker
platform.
hates Christians.
Well,
What?
yeah,
Yeah,
have the same bots and the
my
same
parents are
names.
literally Christian, by
His
the way.
parents-
But-
yeah.
but platform-
Parker hates his
platform-
parents. Everybody
hates
trended
your
on Twitter.
Parker,
Trended
I know,
on
right?
Twitter.
Parker hates his parents. Please.
Platform.
All right,
Platform,
Harry,
platform.
I get another question.
Hold on, let
Let's
them
talk about
finish
religion.
it. We'll talk.
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
second.
Instead of talking about religion, we can talk about that. Plenty of other areas. Talk about politics if you're going to be up here.
Yeah, okay, awesome. Thank you. Holy
ahead.
shit.
You're welcome.
What's your question?
So I
Go
get
ahead.
another question, Harry.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, so when Joe Biden started to decline after that debate, everybody stepped in. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, the Obamas came in and kind of ousted out with Clooney Joe Biden. What do you call that? What happened?
So Joe Biden made the decision himself while in Delaware when he had a meeting with advisors and they showed him internal polling showing that he was behind Trump in a number of states and that it didn't look like he was going to win or it wasn't likely. And they showed him other polling showing that other candidates did better against Donald Trump. And so Biden made the decision then, based off of that, off of the data, that he wasn't going to be the Democratic nominee for president anymore. That's all.
False, Harry. That's just an opinion.
We have there's a
No,
there's
no,
a
that's
political
totally
article
true.
that there's
So
there's
you-
a political
you don't
article out there
believe-
detailing the entire day of the day of when Biden made that decision. It was a weekend. He was in Delaware. He had COVID. There's an entire detailed article about this. So, platform. I know reading is difficult for you. We've seen that exhibit a number of times. Go do it.
Is it a biased article?
No, it's not biased.
So you
Okay,
don't
so
believe
the
at
article, let's see
all
it.
that Nancy Pelosi had anything to do with that whatsoever?
No, I'm sure that like people behind the scenes were pushing Biden to make a decision one way or another. But at the end of the day, the
so that's-
decision came down to him. And Biden made that decision himself. He's acknowledged multiple times that he made this decision himself. That's
Oh yeah, we all know he
He's
made the
forced to say that.
decision, but you know, when you got three knives sticking out of your back, I'm sure it was implemented by somebody else.
You can frame it as whatever way you'd like. At the end of the day, this is a decision that Biden made.
Well, that's how you're framing. Harry, you're framing it in this way as well. So why should we take?
I'm not
your
framing
framework
it in
and
that
say-
way. I'm not
Yeah, you're
framing it that
saying
way.
this is how it went
Biden could have
because of an
stayed in and been the
article. That's
nominee
just
if he
an
wanted
opinion,
to. He
not
had the
fact.
delegates. He had the delegates. He had the funding. He could have stayed and been the nominee if he wanted to. He
Right,
made
but
the
he had
honorable
knives in his
decision to
back,
step
like
aside
Angel's
and not
saying,
do
and
that.
he was forced to step aside. Exactly.
He was not
right.
forced to step aside. Nobody was forcing him to step
Exactly
aside. People made their voices heard
So, okay,
as
all
they
right,
are able to do. They we and in the Democratic Party, we don't have like this dictatorial hold on people to where if somebody steps out of line and says, you know what, I actually don't think this person should be our candidate anymore, then like banished to this room under the
Yeah.
Pentagon that's 500 feet below the ground. Right? In the Democratic
I
Party, we
can't
have
agree
open
with that at
dialogue
all.
about our candidates. And if a high-ranking Democrat says something about a candidate, they're not banished. They're not banished from the party,
Sure.
whereas that's the case in the Republican Party.
I mean, you're,
All right,
you're
so
speaking.
that's done and
Harry
over
just
with.
co-
Okay, you made your piece on that. Okay, so now when Kamala Harris stepped in, do you think there should have been an open primary, a mini primary at that time?
There could have been. There was no laws or regulations or
could have been,
rules
but
stopping anybody from
should
jumping
there
in the
have
race
been,
with Kamala
in your opinion?
Harris. No, I
Should
was
there have
perfect-
been, in your opinion?
Right,
I
of
was
course
happy
not,
with
because your Democratic Party
and
likes to
he's
appoint
still
people.
ranting about- he's still ranting
your
about
Democratic
nothing.
Party
He's
likes
still
to
ranting
appoint
about
people
nothing.
into position because they don't want to hold a primary. Exactly right. You just
He's
said
still ranting.
exactly-
He's saying absolutely nothing right now. He's ranting about
they
absolutely
literally could have done so. No one ran against
Could've,
her
right.
because she had the vast support in the Democratic Party. 80% of the Democratic Party was satisfied with her being the nominee. Like this
Correct.
idea that she wasn't the one that people wanted in the Democratic Party is a ludicrous idea. Blair, thank you for the $10.
Okay,
Thank
so
so
you
much.
just
Really appreciate it.
mentioned-
Janae,
all
thank
right,
you so
hold
much for
on.
the $20, and Michelle, thank you for the $5. W for Janae and Blair, thank you so much, and thank you,
All
Michelle.
right, the guy that just said that the Democratic Party had 80% of it locked in. Okay, so what happened on November 5th? Where did all those delegates go on November 5th?
What? So it is the case in history that the party supports a candidate overwhelmingly, and then it's the candidate loses. It happens.
Yeah, but what happened? What happened on November
Hillary Clinton
5th?
was supported by the party in 2016. She lost, right? Gore.
Yeah, but no. What I'm trying to ask is what happened
primary
on November 5th?
What do you mean when you say what happened?
That
Like Trump, like people voted for Trump. That's what happened. I don't even know what question.
Yeah, but
you're asking.
I mean, what happened is what I'm trying to ask you is, like in Wisconsin, it's 6%. You had Pennsylvania, 12%. They all shifted to the
Pennsylvania was
right.
not
What
a 12%
happened?
shift, right? Neither was Wisconsin.
Well, Bucks County was definitely. So
Well, I
what
can't
happened?
talk about it on a county level, but in terms of state level, there was not a 12-point swing toward Donald Trump in Pennsylvania, and there was not a 6-point swing toward Donald Trump in Wisconsin. There might be certain counties that had
Absolutely.
bigger swings, but that was not on the state level.
Actually, it was in Wisconsin. It was a 6% swing. But so what happened?
What are you talking
On that
about?
night.
What are you talking
Well,
about? There was
obviously-
a 6% swing toward Donald Trump in Wisconsin.
All right. Well, all right.
Biden won Wisconsin. Biden won Wisconsin in 2020 by less than. Oh, he left. Biden won Wisconsin in 2020 by less than a point. So you're telling me
Yep.
that Trump won Wisconsin by 6 points?
No, not 6 points. I'm talking about percentage of voters, which is totally different from the points of the race. So, like in
what?
the swing states, Kamala was supposed to take all of the swing states too. That was her thing. That I mean, even days before that, what happened?
I don't know what you're asking me. This is like, what are you even asking? What question are you trying to ask here?
Well, no, what I'm trying to ask as an independent, I mean, all of the people that were, the polls were pushing so hard for Kamala to win. They said that she had all of these swing states that were locked in, the blue wall that was really unbreakable. What happened?
Why are you asking why Trump won? Is that maybe a better way to phrase your question?
Well, yeah, in layman's term, yeah. Why did Trump
Okay,
win the
geez.
swing states?
My God. So that's been way easier. So polling wasn't saying that Kamala Harris was going to win, or at least the polling averages were not saying that Kamala Harris was going to win these states by 4, 5, 6% or whatever it might be. You also didn't mention polling averages the first time you asked this question, so that's why I was like, what are you talking about? So that's not, the polls didn't say that. They were pretty tight. It was pretty close. And those polls actually ended up being correct within the margin of error. These states, a lot of them were decided by like under 3 points, mostly like a point or two. And so why did Donald Trump win? A lot of people were angry about the economy. They put the blame on Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. A lot of people were angry about immigration. They once again put the blame on Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And thus they just voted for the other guy. The other guy could have been like, I think truly any other Republican. It could have been like Nikki Haley, and I think they probably would have won. So that's what happened, in my view.
I agree with that too. I mean, if Nikki Haley would have been in there as an independent, it would have been a much different story. So now, as far as the economy, you mentioned that. Where do you think the problem lied with that?
I think people were just angry at inflation, and Trump was saying,
that's
I'm
what I
gonna
mean.
lower-
How did inflation occur the way that this transitory thing that was supposed to be there, which truly wasn't? What happened? Why did the inflation spike so bad after he took office?
Yeah, it's because our supply chains collapsed and global trade was put on halt because of the pandemic. So it was really difficult to get things to shelves for people in the United States and all over the world. And inflation spiked at around the same time globally in other developed economies like it did here in the United States, indicating that it was a global thing, not a domestic thing.
So you don't think that the policies that rendered under Biden and Harris had anything to do with the economy, inflation, the stagnant, the supply demand, or anything like that? They had nothing to do with that.
Yeah, in my view, at least if you want to make the argument that like, oh, big government spending played a role in inflation, you could probably make that argument. But in terms of like the spike being up to 9%, it's nowhere near being a majority of the reason why. Not even close. Yeah.
Okay, well, no, that's good. I mean, I'll take that. Now, as far as immigration, it was quite obvious that when they come in there, they, stopped the building of the wall and all of that and whatnot, and they opened up.
Holy shit.
Can I actually make one
They
point
rescinded
about
a
that?
lot of the
Go ahead,
actions that.
Andrew,
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I make one point about that? Trump literally called people in Congress to undermine a bipartisan border bill that would have built more wall than Trump ever built under his administration.
That's but
bro,
that right
you just
there,
take a
Parker,
screenshot?
that is absolutely a fallacy.
Bro, you just took a screenshot? Are you serious? You didn't think to turn
Bro.
off your ringer when you did that?
No, I smashed my hand together on the screen. My bad.
Oh,
It was actually-
yeah. Smash my hand on the screen.
But see, no.
that's for sure.
Go,
I got big hands,
go back to what Parker
Sure,
just said.
bro, sure.
No, go back to what Parker just said. He just said that is pretty weird. I'm giving you that. That's weird as hell. But anyway,
I grabbed my phone. That was whatever. I literally deleted it on the chat, but whatever.
No, I don't think it's weird. I think it's
so
funny.
anyway,
Okay.
so that bill that you were talking about, building a wall, and it would have done better and all that stuff. That wasn't a bill to control anything but amnesty. That's what that was. If you read the bill, that was truly what it was an amnesty bill. Anybody that would have any common sense could figure that out. And what Parker just said was not true.
It was. It would have built more than Trump ever built under his administration. It would have increased the amount of border agents, increased the amount of immigration judges, limited the amount of people coming into the country.
All right, now, all right. No, that's still not true. But okay, so
All of
why
those
did
are
they
true.
wait till? What? No, it's not, Parker, and you can't cite anything
Angel,
factually on that.
I can literally
Angel.
cite the bill itself.
So can I respond to this quick?
I've read that bill in and
Angel.
out, and that was
You have
all
not read the
unanimous
bill.
together.
If you think it's an amnesty bill, you have not read the bill.
So when it comes to
I mean, how can anybody not even say that? How can you let 2 million people in per year?
It wasn't. See, that's how I know you didn't read the bill, because it wasn't letting 2 million people in per year. The numbers you're citing
Well,
in
no,
terms of
see.
no, hold on. The numbers you're citing of like 4,000 per day, 5,000 per day caps. That's encounters. That doesn't mean that somebody came into the country. It means that somebody was encountered at the border, and we know that the majority of people who are encountered are rejected.
That is such bullshit.
Oh,
I
read
can't
the
even
fucking
believe you
bill.
just said that.
Yo, Angel, hold on.
Goddamn bill.
Let
Read
me
the
ask
bill.
Harry a question. Let me ask Harry a question. So, Harry, the first week in office, Joe Biden came in office in 2021, correct? So the first week, he took out 90 out of 92 executive orders. Specifically, had the border issue. Those executive orders had basically were cited to the border and the border alone. Why did he take out 90 out of 92 executive orders?
Oh, you're saying wait, are you saying he signed 90 executive orders
no?
on the
He
border?
took out. He deleted them all.
No, he
deleted
rescinded
92
them.
Okay, so like, can you
executive
name me 5 of these executive orders that Biden
orders. Zero
rescinded?
tolerance. You got the zero tolerance policy, including you also had the Immigration Act policy.
Wait,
And
what? Wait, hold on. Immigration Act? What did that do?
When it comes to Immigration Act, it was so basically testify meaning as in basically people are seeking asylum, come across legally and get drug tested and stuff like that. Had to come across
See,
legally.
people still get tested at the border for stuff.
They still get tested, but when it comes to seek asylum, they need basically as in the sense of getting checked up when it comes to drugs or
That
basically
happens.
any history
That
background or
happens.
anything like that.
That happens. That still happens. And you can go to Google
Okay, so
like
that's
you are right
even
now
great.
and finding it out. That still
Okay.
happens. Also, what
And,
executive order is called the Immigration Act?
So I said a zero tolerance act. I said immigration when it comes to legal. Oh, my damn
What
dog.
parts of zero tolerance were still in effect under Donald Trump by the end of his term?
Give me 1 second. Just talk to Angel quick. I got to do it with my dog. Give me 1 second.
Yo,
All right,
Mimi,
so, I mean, you guys-
One second. Mimi, thanks for the $2 saying, hi, handsome. Hope you're
Very
well.
good,
Wanted to
good.
share good news today that I got an interview after 1 year of applying to 40 jobs a week after completion of my master's. So excited. Thanks for all they do. Congratulations. I hope it goes well. You're going to kill it in the interview. And Michelle, thanks for the $5 saying, keep speaking. And Taylor, thanks for the $5 saying, had to send you money for your patience and even listening to some of these nonsense, the deep state Democrats. I know. It's crazy. Anyway, continue.
All right, so we got the whole thing with the border bill and everything like that. So now, I mean, we can go down the line with the oil, the gas prices. Why did those affect change immediately when he took office? What happened there?
Sorry,
Okay,
go ahead.
so in terms of oil and gas, right, we produce more oil right now in the United States than any point in American history. The reason why is because we had a reduction in oil that we're getting from countries around the world because of the Russia-Ukraine situation and because of the Trump signing a deal with OPEC to cut oil production. So both those things led to a lower level of imported oil into the United States, which decreased the available supply of oil to American consumers, which caused the price to go up for American consumers. So again, we had the highest.
So do you
production
think
of
we're
oil right
energy
now.
independent?
We are more energy independent now than we were under Trump's
you think-
administration because we had the Inflation Reduction Act, which is the largest investment in renewable energy ever, right? Along with the largest level of domestic production of oil ever, of any country ever.
Well, see there again. So your point you just made is clearly not correct either. So why? All right. So why is it if we're producing so much as you say, right, and we're not depending on anybody else, why is
we
our
do
prices
still
going
depend.
up?
We still depend on other countries. We're just less dependent upon other countries now. That's all I'm saying.
So, all right. So when it was $2.86 a gallon when Trump was in office, why is it so much higher now? If we're
Because
producing more now than we were then,
we're importing less, right, than we were under Trump's administration. I just told you that we're importing less.
see. So why? Yeah, but you're not making your point to yourself. Why is it more now per gallon, per barrel, per everything else now than it was then? If we're importing more when Trump was there,
including inflation rate underneath Trump. You need this from Investopedia.org and also including economic.gov. Trump's average inflation rate was around 1.9%. An average president.
Yes, we know. The question is, why was it that way? That's it. Doesn't like it's like you can't just say like, oh, it was this, meaning that it was Donald Trump's doing. You have to ask like, okay, why was inflation low, and then why?
That's what I want to know, Harry, is why.
Yeah. So Angel, there was a number of reasons why gas prices went up and remain high. Number one, the pandemic happened. Donald Trump had a deal with OPEC where he agreed to cut production of oil 10 million barrels per day, right? And that continued into Biden's presidency. Yep. Biden asked them to increase their production. They refused. So then that happened. Number one, supply was already low. Then we came out of the pandemic. And as people wanted to go back to school, they wanted to go back to work, they wanted to continue travel and fly, the demand for oil went up. The supply was still low, partially because of that deal, but just generally oil production around the world was down. So demand was high, supply was low. Econ 101 tells us the prices go up. That's another reason. Then, hold on. Be quiet. I can promise whatever you're saying is just not important. And then Russia invaded Ukraine, and Russia was the third largest exporter of oil in the world. So, and a lot of the West cut off Russia's oil exports, which means that more oil was taken out of the global supply. And gas prices in the United States and just around the world are based on global markets, not domestic markets. So if there's less oil in the supply globally, prices will go up for everyone, as it did for everyone. And that's why it has nothing to do with Biden. It has nothing to do with Trump. And actually, Biden beat OPEC during his presidency, funnily enough, which is something that no other president before him has been able to do.
All right. See, that makes a lot of sense hearing it like that. And I agree. I mean, it really does. Okay. So the oil and gas is out of the picture, right? Now, I got to ask you more of a humorous joke I think she should have picked somebody else to be, the VP. Shapiro would have been a great choice. But
I don't think it would have changed the results of the election. The election was predicated off of the fact that people were blaming the incumbent president for inflation.
No. I get
around the entire world. So I
get that.
No, Parker and Harry,
I just think what I would like to hear from both of you is: do you think Waltz was the right choice or the wrong choice, and why?
I thought he was the right choice.
I thought he was a great choice. Waltz is personable. He's funny. He has good policy. He's done a lot of great things. He's a veteran, a former teacher, a former football coach. I mean, you don't get much more public service than Tim Walz. So I thought he was a great pick. And I still want to see Tim Walz around. If the Senate seat opens up in Minnesota after his term is up as governor, maybe there. Maybe he wants to run for higher office. I don't know. I think he was a great pick. I don't think that Shapiro being the VP nominee or anybody else would have changed it.
So they actually did a statistic. If Josh Shapiro was the nominee when it comes to basically vice president, he actually would have gotten more percentage votes when it comes to Jewish voters. So that maybe could have helped out a little bit, but that's time in the sense.
I don't think it would have swayed the election there.
Yeah, I don't think that sway would have been enough.
I asked you both, Parker and Harry. So when did the CDC announce that the pandemic was ended, including when did the basic stock market? No, I'm asking Harry.
What does this have to do with the context of what
I gotta get going now, but yeah.
Yeah, that was a good time to leave, Parker.
I was set to leave anyway at 7:30. So
Chad, when you switch topics, you really should let people know you're switching topics.
I appreciate you, Parker.
I'm talking about when it comes to economy and rate and when it comes to situation. So I'm just asking. You were talking
I know, but when you're switching topics, let people know, dude.
But when you're talking about when it comes to supply and demand, do you know when the supply and demand, when the rate went back up?
For what industry in particular, just generally?
When it comes to the average supply and demand, do you know when the rate went back up?
For what?
When it comes to basic groceries,
for what?
Oil, when it comes to any situation as that.
Yeah, I don't know if there was like a specific day where everybody was like, oh, well, the supply is back to what it was.
Not specific day. I'm talking about specific time of year, meaning as in the same sense. Like the CDC announced in October 2022 when the pandemic was closed off. That's when I'm trying to say like that in kind of sense. Do you know when? What
happened at the beginning of 2022, which is something that I just mentioned to the gentleman down here.
at the beginning of
I don't even
2022,
understand that question, Harry.
February 11th.
What I'm saying, he's saying that, Santana, thanks for the subscription. He's saying that the CDC declared the pandemic.
Are you referring
All right.
to
So he said that the
February
pandemic was declared over in 2022 by the CDC, or like early 2022. And my question to him regarding prices of like oil, for example, is what did I mention to the gentleman down here that began in 2022? That was a big reason as to why oil prices went up and continued to go up.
Ukraine and Russia war.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it
just
was
because
the
the
war in
pandemic
Ukraine.
was
I get
declared
that.
over, so I don't even know what statement you're saying, you're referencing from the CDC, but I take your word for it. But just because the CDC said, oh, X, Y, and Z about the pandemic doesn't mean that, oh, well, everything's good now.
Harry.
By the way, do you understand that when I'm talking, I can't hear you talking if you continue to speak? Do you understand that? That like when you speak and I'm trying to speak to you, that means that doesn't do anything.
I'm not just referring about the CDC alone. I'm trying to compare to contrast. You know what I mean by when it comes.
No,
to
I understand you're trying to compare and contrast, but when I'm in the middle of a sentence and I hear you talking, I can't hear you.
All right,
That was just pointing that out. No, go ahead.
So when it comes to back to the demand or low, so if the demand was super high underneath Biden, when you say the inflation rate was going underneath him, correct? Super high, right? So why did demand get super high when it got out in 2023? And it should have gone down. Is that correct?
When?
In 2023, he got the demand going back on track. Correct? In 2023 and 2024. Should that?
Well, demand is not like a predictable thing. Demand can go up and down. It's dependent on season. It's like if demand goes up 1 year, it's not just because President of the United States did it right.
You're going to use 2023.
Again, I'm still speaking and you're still talking. It's remarkable.
Thank you. I know it is.
But there was a sarcastic comment. I think that I don't know if you can tell.
When it comes down to sense, you're going to say inflation rate should no matter what situation. Even economists like Kevin O'Leary said.
Kevin O'Who?
Kevin. Oh, I would pronounce the name wrong. Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary.
Kevin O'Leary.
Leary, my bad.
He is not an economist.
He is an economist.
He's not. He's an entrepreneur. He's not an economist. What are you talking? Kevin O'Leary, the famous economist? What the fuck?
He's got an economy degree, so he's not an economist?
He's not an economist.
He has to participate in economists.
Wait,
actually, Harry, he is an economist.
No, he's not an economist. Do you think that he's not an economist? He's an entrepreneur.
Actually,
Harry, he is.
Unfortunately,
what are you guys talking
is.
about? He does not even. He doesn't even call himself an economist.
He doesn't have to. He's not like.
Oh, okay. So the guy that doesn't call himself an economist, he's not an economist. He doesn't do any of that stuff. He's an entrepreneur and runs a bunch of businesses. Suddenly, he's an economist. Okay, all right.
He's not like Alan Mickey, where he has to call himself like.
Let's fucking go.
I don't agree with Kevin O'Leary at all.
So it's like
wait. Just back up for a second. So what's the argument you're trying to make here? Because I think you're all over the place.
It's like saying you got to call Alan Lichtman a basic election predictor when he failed at election prediction. Doesn't make any sense. Like
I'm not claiming that his profession is election predictor. I don't. Also, I don't know how that's relevant.
He has to call
himself just sum up your argument. This is a good exercise. Just sum up your argument in like 3 sentences or like a sentence.
When it comes to how he even said when he came on Fox and also when he went on like Tucker Carlson, for example. He talked about when it comes to high supply and demand, usually the average rate of inflation rate should go down, no matter what sense. If you have high supply and demand, the average inflation rate should go down. Then why did it go up to 9 to even close, for example, 17% in early 2024? Even throughout.
Say that again. Sorry, I'm just say that last part again. Why did it go up for what?
So, for example, like he said, even Mark Cuban said this. I hate Mark Cuban. They even talked about. Well, the thing is, they even talked about when the high of demand of products, no matter what situation, comes to oil, energy, natural gas, product, whatever you want, goes up. The average inflation rate, because it's globally, so the average inflation rate should automatically go down. Then why did it increase up to 9 to 17% of early 2024?
No, I'm not embarrassed.
Wait, you're saying that the United States inflation rate went to 17%?
It did by Yahoo Financing, economics.gov.
What are you talking about?
Dude, the whole global... You not see that?
Wait, are you saying for the United States?
No, for globally.
Globally?
17%.
For what good? Just generally across the board or just or specific good?
Just general. Dude, I could pull it up for you if you want me to.
Yeah, no, that'd be great because I have no idea what you're referencing right now. You said it was we were talking about the United States and now you're talking about global inflation going up 17%.
I'll make it easy for you. Just get this.
Please provide an article on this. That'd be great.
I don't even understand it, dude.
I don't understand what this guy's talking about. I don't understand how this is at all relevant. Like, wait, are you disagreeing with the principle that when demand goes up and supply is low, that prices go up? You're saying that that's not the case?
No, I'm saying what the case is. And when it comes to the case, he said the high of basic demand of basic product or anything that has to do with natural gas, oil, whatever you want, the inflation rate should automatically go down naturally should go down. Then why didn't it increase up even though they got higher demand?
Well, there can be nuance. There could be things that happen that break the rule. So just generally, as a rule of thumb, when demand is high and supply, can you stop talking? Are you capable? When demand is high and supply is low, the general principle is that prices go up. Right? But there can be something that happens in a country or happens in multiple countries that changes that. Nuance is relevant here. So you could have this case be the case in the United States, but something happens in the United States that hurts that general rule that changes it. Right? Does that make sense?
So let me say this to you. So I understand what you're saying, but for example, last time that throughout history, since say Eisenhower, correct? So 1977, 1977, who was the president in 1977? Carter. Okay, he had a really bad economy. So one of his basically when it comes to demand and product, it was really low. So he had a high inflation rate. That upcoming year, when Reagan came in office, he had a high demand. So no matter what throughout history says, when you get a high demand of supply of any product, when it comes to anything, or basically majority of anything, your inflation rate should automatically go lower. Then why the hell did it increase under Biden? It can't be a broken system. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, you're saying
Harry, I understand what he's saying.
Okay, maybe you can explain it to me because I have no idea what this guy's trying to argue right now. Because he's saying that inflation went up under Biden, but it's also global inflation. Does he think that somehow Biden controls global inflation? Like what?
Well, no.
In general, why did it go underneath the administration higher?
Okay. So now you're talking about under the administration. A moment ago, you were saying that global inflation went up 17%. So are we talking about the entire globe, or are we talking about the United States?
So when it comes down, it was for the United States. When it comes to globally, it's the exact same issue. Everyone has to deal with inflation rate issues. So when it underneath,
what? It's not the same. Okay, it is absolutely not the same globally as it is domestically. What?
Well, wait, Harry.
This is
actually
such a painful conversation to have because you both are like, you both keeps talking. You both are saying different things. It's like, what are you guys talking about? Okay, Angel, please try to summarize what this guy is arguing because I have no idea what argument he's trying to make right now.
Well, earlier when I mentioned about the economy, you mentioned that Ukraine's war jacked up the prices of oil and everything else.
Yeah.
But that you're including globally the economy with domestic as well. So I think that's where he's going. Is you earlier mentioned globally it was going up and domestically.
Listen. There are some things that the price is more dependent on global markets than others. So when we're talking about things that are made in the United States and then sold at grocery stores in the United States, like corn, for example, right? That is not a global product. That is not a product which price on the global market generally would then influence the United States because we make a lot of corn, right? But when it comes to something like gas prices, which is a global commodity, something that the United States drills but also imports, then global markets can have an effect on us. So there are some things that are affected by global markets, some things that are not. Does that answer your question?
So let me answer you this. So if you're just saying basic small products like corn or like peas or something like that, okay, cool. So what about when it comes to the product of oil, natural gas, and also? So
I just addressed that. And what does your article say right there?
Well, you can pull it up. I mean, it's so small to say, but
it's the headline. What is it?
So it's Biden big inflation rate problem. Prices are now high up to nearly 20% throughout his term when he took office.
Okay, yeah, so this is so insane. So we acknowledge that inflation went up under Biden. We're asking why. Why do you think inflation went up under Biden?
So the thing is, I think we're supplying way too much money when it comes to Ukraine.
Okay, so you're already off to a terrible start because we're not giving money to Ukraine, right? The majority of what we're sending to Ukraine is weapons that are sitting in a warehouse somewhere collecting dust that were made in like the 1990s and early 2000s.
So technically, I was on CBN 78. So when it comes to situations, I was on an aircraft carrier, so we still use weapons.
See,
doesn't make any sense. They're still active weapons.
Our ATACMs were made 3 years ago.
Yeah, it ranges. Most of the stuff we're sending is old weaponry, and we're replenishing it right now.
Active weapons from the 80s and 90s. So why is it still technically classified as old weapons, even though
it's weapons made over a different period of time, but a lot of the weapons are older.
Dude, I'm telling you this. We still actively
No, I know. Oh my god. So we're still a lot of the weapons we're manufacturing right now when it comes to Ukraine are replenishing our reserves. And also the idea that sending them old weapons is increasing inflation is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
We are sending them money And that's basically what comes as an example.
We're not sending them money. We're sending them some humanitarian aid, but it's a very, 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 very small minority of the overall. So again, you're still talking. It's remarkable. The overall aid we're sending, the actual funding, the actual money, is a very, 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 very small percentage.
So when it comes to situation, so you're going to basically say, oh, sending out $8 billion each around every 2 months or so is fine.
Yes.
You're fine with that. That's so calculated.
Yeah, when it comes to supporting Ukraine, I'm absolutely fine with that. Yep.
So Ukraine, even though not a NATO country, so when it comes to defense, yeah, they're not our ally, bro. I mean,
Ukraine is absolutely our ally. If you think that Ukraine is not an ally of the United States simply because they're not a NATO nation, then apparently we're only allied with NATO countries, and all the other allies or potential enemies are just neutrals.
But when it comes to the sense, so you green light what Biden did a couple days ago. You green like that? Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Bro, that's an act of war. You know that, right? So you want to act.
Oh, it's an act of war. You know what's also an act of war? When Russia is now using North Korean troops. When they just launched ICBMs last night. That's an act of war.
So you're thinking about that. You're actively greenlighting. You know, shooting up. Biden literally says you actively greenlighting. Hey, we're allowed to use U.S. missiles like ICBMs shoot over in Russia territory. Good. When we're trying to settle a peace treaty. That doesn't make any sense, Harry.
So
that literally does not make any sense.
Wait, I'm sorry. So wait, just because there have been talks of peace, even since the beginning of this war, there have been talks of peace. There's ongoing shit. Just because that's the case, we should hurt Ukraine's ability to defend themselves?
When it comes down to sense, they were already talking. Zelensky.
So So Russia every single day, Russia is starting a massive offensive in certain parts of Ukraine, in the Kursk region, for example. They've had this massive offensive with thousands of troops. You're just saying that, well, there could be the possibility of peace in the future, which means that we shouldn't give Ukraine the ability to adequately defend themselves. Please, I hope that you're never in charge of a war, because the idea that we should just hurt Ukraine's ability to defend themselves because of the possibility of peace is insane. Like, I'm sure you wouldn't have the same view of World War II when there was an active possibility of peace or a war ending. It doesn't mean that we take our foot off the gas. It means we keep goddamn going and defend Ukraine.
The funny thing is, Harry, you're assuming that I'm going to say, oh, let's just do a peace treaty later on in life. No, I'm saying
I'm not assuming you're going to saying that. I don't know
just literally said, oh, if I was basically come down to sense.
Harry, can I jump in here, man?
Zelensky and Putin already had all right, so a peace treaty, and they want to end that war.
All right, hold on a second, Chad.
That's it.
Chad, hold on a second. So you guys are talking about, aid and how much money and all that stuff, right? So explicitly, we've in earnest have shipped $175 billion to Ukraine. Let it be equipment. The ATACMs are only 3 years old. The progressive landmines are less than 2 years old. I get it. But $175 million in money, materials, anything, it's still generated tax-funded dollars, right? So I honestly believe we should, take care of Ukraine and make sure that, their sovereignty is protected and all that stuff. But, we really, really, really need to start taking care of our own as well, too.
So it comes to the fact. No, we can't. Comes in a fact.
This is like, I got to be honest, this is like a 2 IQ take. The idea that we can't support Ukraine while also supporting ourselves. Our GDP is tens of trillions of dollars per year. We have trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in GDP. When we send like 100 and I don't think it's 175, it's like 130 over 2.5, almost 3 years to Ukraine. That's less than $70 billion a year.
Actually, it's 175.9.
Yeah, I don't know where you're getting that number. Last time I checked, there's a Ukraine aid tracker for the United States for every country. It's like 130. Maybe it's gone up as a recent package. I don't know. But last time I checked, it was 130. I'm just going off of that number. But anyway, that's less than $70 billion a year. For the United States, that has trillions upon trillions of trillions and trillions of dollars in GDP and trillions of dollars in revenue just generally. That is nothing. That is nothing for the United States. And also supporting Ukraine is absolutely in our global interest. We want peace in Eastern Europe. We want global security. And we also don't want Russia getting stronger and having more resources, more land, more trading ports. We don't want that.
So when it comes down to the situation, when White Zelensky said, you know what, I'm ready for peace. I'm ready to have a contract or basically peace with Trump.
The United States has always been ready for peace, and Ukraine has always been ready for peace. And there's a really cool way that right now the war could end and it could be peaceful if Russia just pulls out.
When it comes down to the situation, bro, literally are basically activating more war. Why did Trump and Zelensky already have a phone call, and Putin on a 3-1 phone call want to end the war?
There was,
literally the first month.
there was not a three-way phone call.
Yes, it is.
There was not a three-way phone call. They talked.
Yes,
they
it
talked.
was.
There was not
They
a three-way
talked,
phone
like,
call.
They talked to like literally at the same time. They were all
No, there.
It
So
was
Trump
reported, though,
Trump
Harry,
has
there
spoken.
was. I don't know how true it is.
Yeah, Trump has spoken to Putin and Zelensky. There was not a three-way phone call. But Trump, again, Zelensky has always been of the view that we want peace. The United States has always been of the view that we want peace. Biden has always been of the view that we want peace. But Russia is sending cruise missiles through apartment buildings. That's not very peaceful. They're using ICBMs and escalating by bringing North Korean troops in there. You're just like, it's so funny. It's like the most Russian propaganda garbage I've ever heard. That when Russia does something that escalates by bringing North Korean troops in there and use ICBMs, well, they're allowed to. But when the United States authorizes the use of long-range missiles, then you have a problem. Then it's a big escalation that we can't engage in. It's the most insane thing ever.
Okay, now, as far as the money goes, and that's, oh man, that whole Ukraine thing, the Israel thing, the Iranian thing, that's just a bunch of trash over there, and I get it. But back domestically, my biggest concern is that we should take care of those people, and I get it, like I said before. But domestically, we really need to start taking care of ourselves too, the hurricane victims and all that stuff. I mean, those people that from FEMA that just went around and saying that, we can't, go in there and support you and help you because there's a Trump thing on your front lawn. And I wanted that to be not true, but in fact it was, which is a very sad day.
So I just pulled it up. So when it comes to the situation, Harry, so literally when Trump's going to get in office, Zelensky said the war is going to end sooner than faster. I mean, as in the terms that's also.
Yeah, and we talked about this yesterday. That just seems like politics to me.
Okay, Putin he also talked to Putin yesterday, talking about, hey, no more steps after the situation. I mean, and he wants to end it. Dude, he wants to end it. I don't get it. The Liberal Party used to be talking about, when JFK was underneath in 1962, used to talk about anti-war. Why are you pro-war, bro? Why you want to pass?
We're not pro. Here's the thing. We're not pro-war. We're not pro-war. Donald Trump, you're such a little like you buy into whatever Donald Trump says. You're like a good little cult member where Donald Trump says like, yeah, well, hold on, be quiet. Donald Trump's like, yeah, I want to end the war, and you automatically think, oh my God, Donald Trump's going to do it. We all want the war to end. Nobody wants Ukraine to continue fighting. We don't want this war to be prolonged. But we understand that the reality is that Putin is not going to pull out of his troops. Pull his troops out of Ukraine today. He's not going to do it tomorrow. He's not going to do it the next day. So Ukraine must be adequately equipped to defend themselves against Russian aggression. You are of the view that we should not adequately equip Ukraine to do that, because that's too much escalation, thus giving Russia the upper hand, the ability to kill more innocent people and take more of Ukrainian land.
So when it comes to the situation, he's going to end the war the first month.
Okay, how?
Literally, he already talked to Putin on taking out.
Donald Trump talks to Putin all the time. They're like best buddies.
Okay,
how is he going to end the war? By the way, he also said he was going to end the war as president-elect. He's president-elect right now, and now Russia's using ICBMs.
He said when he's president, never said a president-elect.
Get the fuck out of here. You want me to debunk this real quick?
Go for it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. When it comes down to it, Harry, he literally said he's going to end the war on day one when he gets in office. That's all he said.
Yeah, and Donald Trump also said that Mexico is going to build the wall.
Did he put his hand on the Bible and took the oath?
Donald Trump also said that he's going to build the wall.
He technically did, but
he's going to make Mexico pay for it.
He technically did, and they spent 1.8
Really?
billion.
All right, I want to see this debunk here. Let's see it.
Come on.
Come on.
But hold on. No, don't switch topics on. I was still on the topic of talking about the war.
Absolutely.
No, you're.
No, Harry's been asking at the wall, and he said something about something else.
Well, you're saying that my point to you was that Donald Trump.
Yeah, let's not switch to the wall. Let's find out about the Trump thing first. Hold on.
Yeah. Here we go.
And with that being said, I want to get the war settled. I know Zelensky very well, and I know Putin very well. I have a good relationship, and they respect your president, okay? They respect me. They don't respect Biden. How would you respect him? Why? For what reason? He hasn't even made a phone call in 2 years to Putin, hasn't spoken to anybody. They don't even try and get it. That is a war that's dying to be settled. I will get it settled before I even become president. If I win, when I'm president-elect, and what I'll do is I'll speak to
yeah, he did say that. Oh, yeah, it's almost like I was right.
Finish it. Bro, finish the clip.
Wait, did you not just hear him say as president-elect,
Bro,
I'll end the war?
You stop. You literally stopped right after.
Do you want to hear him say it again?
Get it
You want to
settled
hear him say it
before
again?
I even become president. If I win, when I'm president-elect, and what I'll do is I'll speak to one, I'll speak to the other, I'll get them together. That war would have never happened. And in fact,
dude, are you gonna let me finish the quote?
Because it's a 2-minute
He's still
clip.
president-elect.
Yeah, it's a 2-minute clip. It's a 2-minute, 39-second clip. I cut out the first half as well because the relevant portion of the clip is him saying as president-elect, I'll end the war. He said as president-elect, I'll end the war. So when is that happening? Because now Russia has escalated to using ICBMs.
Harry, you literally just said.
All right, hold on, you guys. Hold on.
All right, you guys cannot
Chad,
keep
hold
talking
on.
at the same time. It's absolutely insufferable. So one of you pick.
Yeah,
one
I know.
of you
I've
talk.
been listening to Chad for a while now.
Let me finish this off quick. So he literally.
So
said
wait. Just to be clear, did he or did he not say as president-elect, I'll solve the war?
He just talked about talking about both of them. Meaning
Wait. Did he? A yes or no question? Did he or did he not say as president-elect, I'll solve the war?
Yeah, he did say that when it comes to.
Okay, and so now we have ICBMs going into Ukraine and North Korean troops being deployed. When is this war going to end? Because he said as president-elect, I'll do it. I'm waiting.
Dude, I literally just told you. He already talked to Putin. That's what he said on the video. He literally said on the video, he to talk to Putin and Zelensky on the first process of ending the war.
Yeah, and by the way, he's talked to both of them individually, and the war has not ended. So he said, he said I could solve it with a phone call. That's what Donald Trump said. As a phone call, I could solve the war. And yet he's placed a phone call to Putin. He's placed a phone call to Zelensky, and the war is not over. Maybe it's like Donald Trump just lied to people like yourself, and you bought into it.
He didn't lie to.
Really? Because he said as president-elect, he's going to get it done. So I'm waiting for it to be done.
Harry,
where is it?
Okay, Chad and Harry, hold on.
Wow, that's wild.
So
he said
listen, Chad, hold on a sec. So now, I've been listening to you guys for 11 minutes now, okay? Harry, you jumped on him 38 times, and he jumped on you 12.
You have a counter? What are you doing?
Okay, you're telling him that... Yeah, because you've been saying it all the time.
Oh my God, I got to be honest.
And
you guys are like
counted.
insufferable. You guys are insufferable to talk to. It's so.
Well,
so
no, because you go into insults when you don't agree.
I'm not. No. This is not an insult. This is just like a statement of fact that this is like an insufferable conversation to have.
No, I'm trying to be fair and factual.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to be factual. Anyway, now as far as him being, president-elect, he still has time to, kill these wars, which I don't believe will happen anyway, because I think Joe Biden stepped on his toes, and for whatever reason, I don't know why he did that by sending him ATACMS and stuff. But well, I mean, why would 60 days left in this term? Why would he send ATACMS and say, "Yeah, now you can do it"? And it's just like the border wall. 3 months before he leaves office. Yeah, let's pass a bill. Why would he do that?
The bill was not introduced 3 months before he leaves office. What you're getting your history wrong. This bill was introduced like a year ago.
Harry, the thing is though, he's talking about an act of war. He started more conflict. They were literally on to talk to passing a piecing.
Yeah, you know what, Joe?
We are not more conflict, Harry. You're warmonger.
Holy fuck!
Like
so So wait. Just clarify something for me. So Russia deploys North Korean troops in this conflict. That's before Biden authorized the use of some long-range missiles in some regions of Russia. Where was the path to peace before?
Literally, okay. Name me the war underneath Trump that was under. Was there Ukraine and Russia war underneath Trump?
Can you answer my question? Because you just said we were on a path to peace. And by the way, Russia was still occupying Crimea and the Donbass under Donald Trump. They still occupied it.
I can't say one thing, Harry. When it comes down to the sense of saying that, he's in a process of talk. He can't literally say right now.
Hold on. You said that before we sent long-range missiles, we were on a path to peace.
Yes,
but before that took place, Russia included North Korean troops on the front lines. So I'm just asking you, what indication did you have before this moment that made you think that we were on a path to peace?
Was that before the election, Harry?
This was around the same time.
No, it was before the election.
This was around the same time, yes? You agree?
No, it was before the election.
It was around the same time. You agree?
No, you're not answering the question. It's before the election. It was 2 weeks.
It was
before
around the same time of the election taking
I'm not gonna
place.
answer. Harry, it was before the election.
It was around the same time. Wait. This has been going on for quite some time now, at least in the context of like late October and early November. This has been something that's been going on for quite some time. And it's also, there's not like an exact date that the United States has pinned down of like, oh, the North Korean troops are here and here and here, right? This is something that's been going on. My question to you is that you made the claim that we were on a path to peace. And I'm asking you. Okay. Where was the path to peace?
Let me tell you why.
Where was the path to peace?
The path to peace was him calling Putin, him calling Zelensky, and having to talk to both of them on a situation.
And you know, And you know what's happened since Russia? And you know, it is actually apparently to you it's rocket science. Apparently to you it is rocket science because you know what's happened since Donald Trump talked to Putin and Zelensky? ICBMs were used in Ukraine. So where's the path to peace? Wait, Trump said he could end the war with a phone call, and then he made a phone call to both of them, and now ICBMs are being used.
Your president, Joe Biden, allowed that. That's his issue.
Oh, Joe Biden allowed. Oh, yeah, Joe Biden is God. Joe Biden is God, which means that somehow he allows or doesn't allow missiles to take place and happen. Oh my!
He's not president right now. So who's the president? Harry?
Wait. He said as president-elect I could get it done. So clearly Donald Trump has acknowledged that as president-elect he would have some power and some influence over this war. And as president-elect, he's saying, "Oh, I could end this war." And he said I could end the war with a phone call. He called Zelensky, he called Putin, and now ICBMs are being used. I'm waiting for all of this peace to happen.
Harry, you're not getting the point. They were already to talk about peace of power, transfer of peace of power with Biden, and Biden goes behind Trump's back talk about ending the war. They had a 2-hour conversation.
Oh my God, this is so dumb.
About this issue. So Biden takes up the deal and releases. You know, Ukraine, you can shoot our you can shoot our missiles over to Russia. Who the fuck does that before a peaceful transfer of power?
I know. I agree with that. Hey, hold on a sec, you guys.
This is such a dumb. This is such like a 5 IQ conversation. Because you know why? You know why? Because it would be
Harry and Chad.
That's great. Thank you very much. You know why he did that? Because why would the United States and Ukraine just sit there for just 2 more months of Biden's presidency and just do nothing? Okay, so Russia escalates. They have North Korean troops. They're doing a lot. They're launching new offensives and things like that. You expect Biden to just sit there and be like, well, you know what? I'm leaving office in a couple of months, so let me just hold off. No. What are you talking? What? So Russia? Wait. So wait, hold on. By your definition, by your view, Russia could escalate as much as they want from now until Biden leaving office, and he shouldn't do anything about it because he's leaving office.
So Harry, the thing was.
Wait. No. Answer the question.
What was your question?
So under your view, Biden is leaving office in 2 months. And because that is the case, Russia could escalate in whatever way that they'd like, and Biden can't or shouldn't respond because he's leaving office.
When it comes down, you're talking about it comes Ukraine, not Ukraine, so Koreans, the North Koreans coming over.
No. I'm just talking about generally. Hold on. What Biden did, allowing long-range missiles to be used in some parts of Russia, was in response to North Korean troops being used. I'm asking you a simple question. And you take objection to that because it's an escalation and he shouldn't do that before he leaves office. Under your view, is it the case that Russia could escalate in whatever way they see fit, and thus Biden can't or shouldn't respond because he's leaving office in 2 months?
It's wild. Do you know, for example, Putin's doing as just a look? It's not.
Can you answer the question? Oh my God! Can you answer the question? Just engage with what I just asked you. I've asked you this question 3 times. You've talked about something else. In your view, should Biden not escalate in any capacity if Russia escalates just because?
No.
So Russia could do whatever they want from now until Biden leaving office, and we can't escalate.
Did Russia? I know they have.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
I said no. Did Russia release the North Korean?
Answer the question.
I did. I said yes. He shouldn't do anything about it.
Okay, so wait. Russia could use nuclear warheads.
Yeah,
I am. It's my live. I get to do whatever I want. Russia could use nuclear warheads in Ukraine, and the United States shouldn't do anything about it just because Biden's still president.
So let me finish my point.
No.
And after you interrupt.
Sorry.
Okay.
No.
All right. So censorship. That's your pro.
It's censorship. You don't have a First Amendment right in here, buddy. I'm not the government. I'm not the government. Answer the question. I
said you repeat your question like you're like a broken clock. I literally repeat your question. I answered it. I said
the phrase would be a broken record. It also wouldn't even be applicable in this instance. If Russia uses nuclear warheads. Okay, you ready? Are you ready to actually listen? Put on our listening ears. Put on our listening ears. Put on our listening ears. If Russia escalates in a major way. They use nuclear warheads, right? And Biden's still in office. Is it your view? Let's just say they do that tomorrow in Ukraine. Is it your view that just because Biden's in office and he's leaving in 2 months, that the United States should not respond in any capacity?
No, when it comes to sense, because it's going to activate a higher chance of more war. When it comes to the sense, if you leave office,
so Russia could literally nuke Ukraine, and the United States should not do anything because it might lead to more war.
Has he nuked? Okay, Harry.
This is why Republicans are so goddamn clueless when it comes to foreign policy. It's so clueless.
My point out and ask you a question.
Yes.
2 weeks before, North Korea sent in troops from Kim Jong-un and made to Russian border. When it comes down to the sense of saying this, he wasn't going to release them until Ukraine did something about it. Ukraine did something about it. Now they have a higher chance of doing something about it. You're not getting the point.
You're not saying anything. These are not coherent sentences, by the way.
So they have a higher chance of doing it.
Oh my God, these are not. Does anybody think that this guy is speaking coherently right now?
Warriors or North Korean soldiers to Ukraine unless Ukraine fought back. Ukraine launched 6 missiles to Russia, and Russia said, "Oh, you want to poke the bear? This is what you're going to get. This is how you start an active world war."
Buddy, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? So wait, Russia can attack Ukraine, but Ukraine can't fight back? What the fuck are you talking about? This is the worst. I think this might be the worst foreign policy conversation I've ever had on these lives. Oh my God. Oh my God. So you're like, yeah. So Russia does something. Ukraine launches 6 missiles, whatever the number is. I think you just made it up in your head right now. But Ukraine launches missiles back and fights back. And then Russia's like, oh, you want to poke the bear?
Harry, I'm asking a question. Who launched the missiles first?
Holy fuck. Who launched the missiles in this conflict? Russia?
I'm talking about in this end of the war that Trump already talked to Putin and Zelensky before this happened. Underneath Trump, listen to Harry. Stop.
No, this is so dumb. This is so dumb.
Harry, Trump literally talked to Biden a week before this happened, including he also talked to Zelensky and Putin about ending this war when he gets in office. Correct? So Biden takes on the other hand, says, you know what? Fuck Trump. I'm going to let Ukraine do anything they want.
This decision has nothing to do with Donald Trump. This is what you cult members don't understand, that not everything that happens has anything to do with Donald Trump. What happened is this is something that's been worked on, right? They didn't just one day decide, you know what, we're going to just do this and we're going to allow Ukraine to use long-range missiles. North Korean troops are being used. Russia escalated. The United States responded. In your view, Russia could do whatever they want in Ukraine for the next 2 months, and the United States and Joe Biden can't do anything about it because he's leaving office, and it's an escalation. You know what? He's president for 2 months. The people, hey, buddy, the people elected Joe Biden to be president for 4 years. They didn't elect him to be president for 3 months, 3 years and 9 months. He's still the president of the United States. He made a decision that's informed by good advisors, people who are strategic. Can you be quiet? Is it capable? Are you capable? He made a decision that's been informed by strategic geniuses when it comes to foreign policy, and they responded to what North Korea and Russia did, right?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Sure.
I think Harry's really active for war, no matter what situation.
No, you're just like a Russian propagandist at the end of the day. No. You're just at the end. You just love Putin. You just love Putin. If your view is that Russia could do whatever they want from now. Yeah, sorry, buddy. You're getting muted now.
Hold on, Chad.
No, be quiet. No, be quiet. No, be quiet for 1 second. If your view is that Russia can do whatever they want from now until January 20th, just because Joe Biden is leaving office, then you might as well go sleep in Moscow tonight. You might as well go to the Kremlin because that's what Putin wants. He would love the ability to have free reign for 2 months just because the current president is leaving. Oh my God!
Right.
Republicans, right in their current state, just love sucking up to Putin. Ronald Reagan's rolling in his grave, might I add. Now go ahead, Angel. You can speak.
That's wild.
So all right,
all I want.
All right, no, shut the hell up, Chad. It's Angel's turn. Just be quiet. We don't need to hear from you anymore. No, that's fine. Just be quiet.
All right, so I guess my question would be to both of you guys, because you guys, I'm literally stuck in the middle of this. So when they sent North Korea sent those 10 to 12,000 troops over there. Now, would you consider that an escalation? Right?
Yes.
So that's an escalation.
Yes.
So what did Ukraine do in that interim to counter-react that?
I'm not even talking about Ukraine's decision making. I'm talking about the United States, and we're talking about the long-range missiles in particular.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is that they were given more options
Yes.
to launch those attacks, right?
Yes.
So I do believe Ukraine had every opportunity and every chance to defend themselves.
Correct.
Without a doubt. Should they have done it, 60 days, before he leaves? Probably not. It didn't look good. As far as the nuclear thing, the ICBM, I mean, supersonic. What's that?
I don't understand. I don't understand this argument. Again, what I just said is the case that the American people didn't elect Joe Biden to be president for 3 years and 9 months. They elected him to be president for 4 years. Joe Biden is making a decision in his best judgment, with his advisors also giving him advice on this, right? And this is a decision that's made in response to an escalation by Russia. And the idea that we should just sit here stagnant and let Russia do whatever they want is I mean, I seriously, it's just whatever. It's just what Putin wants. This guy is sitting over there at the Kremlin, laughing at Americans debating this. Like, well, Biden shouldn't do this. Biden shouldn't do this. Oh my God, bro! It's so painful.
Well, no, I mean, I agree with it. Something should have been done, without a doubt.
It's
but
funny.
I mean,
it's funny.
He didn't see this as like a big surprise to him. 2 months before the him leaving office. This shit's been going on for 6 months now, really heavy. It's been going over 1,000 days. This is something that's not something that's new. He knew this shit was coming like a freight train. It's nothing that he didn't say, oh my God. But the thing is, though, should they have done it? Probably not, but they had every fucking right to do it. And they did it. But, to say Joe Biden shouldn't have let him do that, I think it's in Ukraine's best interest that they defend themselves now before they end up in fucking Poland or the Baltics.
That's exactly my point. That they should be defending themselves right now, and we shouldn't be waiting goddamn 6 months to make a decision that they can defend themselves.
But the thing is, though, my concern is, as an independent, though, is why didn't we take up this action 6 months ago when they were bitching about these attacks, the F-16s, the F-35s, getting them in there?
And there's an argument to be made that it should have been sooner. I'm not arguing this from the perspective. I'm going to tell you why. Biden struggled with this for quite some time because it is an escalation at the end of the day. This is a bigger deal that these long-range missiles can be used in Russia now. So it's something that Biden wanted to avoid at all costs. We didn't want this to happen. Nobody's celebrating this, dancing in the streets, being like, "Woo, more missiles, long range, yay!" This is something that was out of necessity. Biden saw Russia escalating using North Korean troops, and he said, "You know what? This is the final straw. We have to allow Ukraine to defend themselves in whatever way that they need to, and we're going to allow them to do this." And as I said, there is an argument to be made, which I might even agree with in some capacity, that this should have happened sooner. If you want to make that argument, no problem. If you want to ask that question, no problem. But objecting like this guy is, saying just because it's an escalation, is all Putin wants. People don't understand Putin. He's incredibly tactical.
So, I mean, he's not. Everyone says, "Oh, Putin is a very smart man."
Yeah.
This guy is not a dummy. And the thing is, though,
Agreed.
the people around him aren't going to let him make the mistakes that Joe Biden's making. Okay, this guy should have had this shit taken care of 6 months ago, like you just said. But the thing is, though, now we're playing catch up before he walks out the door. And Chad made a very good point, and I didn't agree with a lot of what he said.
I don't know about that, big man.
Oh, Fairy Harry, that's okay.
No, but he made a good point.
My God, go to the playground. You'll fit in better. Go ahead.
And where he said that, why did he do this just before he left, right? And the thing is, he had a 2-hour conversation with Trump about easy transition, this, that, and everything else. Did he tell Trump that he was going to do this? Who knows? But I mean, if he didn't,
maybe he probably shouldn't have, because Trump would just go on Truth Social and tweet it out.
So what did Trump say in June 22nd of 2022 on CNN? What did he say specifically about
I don't know what Donald Trump said on June 22nd, 2022 on CNN. What?
He had an interview with CNN on Town Hall. He said he got asked specifically, what do you want to do about the Ukraine and Russia war? Who do you want to win? He doesn't want anyone to win. He wants both of them have peace no matter what. No one to die.
Yeah, and in that answer, he also said that he could solve it in 24 hours.
You want to start activating.
If he doesn't solve it in 24 hours on the first day of his presidency, I think that applies to right now. But if he doesn't solve it, then he lied to you guys, and you just fell for it.
That you guys have Ms. Cheney and Dick Cheney that are on your side that are pro-war and warmongers, and you have the Bushes as well that are warmongers, and you want more war. It's actually funny. It's wow.
This is like a stupidly. This is like a stupidly.
You want to keep activating war.
Okay, great. We heard you the first time. This is like a stupidly reductionist way to look at what we're arguing. It's so stupidly reductionist. you're reducing what we're saying down to just, oh, you want more war. If you've been listening at all to this conversation and engaging in a way that's good faith, which I don't think you have been, but the hope is that you are, you would realize that I'm not just sitting here being like, oh, I love war. Oh, yeah, more people in war. That's great. What we're arguing is that this is out of necessity. That if we don't do this, Ukraine is on the back foot and Russia has an advantage and they might be able to take Ukraine in its entirety and go kill more innocent people. We're saying this has to be out of necessity. There have been plenty of decisions in United States history that was made out of necessity regarding war that probably led to more people dying and probably led to more war, but you would agree is a good decision.
So if you're already having a processing, Harry, if you already have the processing of him sitting down with Biden talking about the situation, including already talking with Zelensky and Putin before this happened, right? Before this happened, he talked to both. He also talked to both specifically with Biden. At the end of the day, he wanted to have a peaceful transfer of power. This is not how you do a peaceful transfer of power. When it comes down to
please
activate. No,
spare
I'm
me.
talking about when it comes to a war.
Spare me,
bro. Do you want to go to WWE3? How bad do you want to do? Because I would love to go to
yeah. So Mr. Russia lover over here is saying that if we support Ukraine, it's World War III. My God, I mean, you might again just go to Moscow.
Hey, Harry,
they love you over there. The idea that we should just let
it.
Russia just steamroll countries because if we get involved, it's going to be World War III. Is so mind-boggling.
How much particular land? So they had 2 years to steamroll the countries, correct?
Yeah, you know why they didn't? You know why they didn't? The United States. Ukrainian generals are saying the only reason that Kyiv is still standing today is because the United States stepped in and gave them the aid that they need, and we united over 50 Western countries to support Ukraine. We are the only reason that that Kyiv is still standing and that Ukraine is still standing.
It's mind-blowing to me, man. It's literally mind-blowing to me that literally you want to start a more active war situation.
Again, you are so this is so stupidly reductionist. How many times do I have to say this? This is so stupidly reductionist. The idea that our view just wants to start more war is so dumb. Wait, wait, you object to FDR in World War II getting involved, right? Because that after we got attacked by Japan, getting involved led to more war, right?
Talking about Pearl Harbor?
Yes, I'm talking about Pearl Harbor.
That's a little bit different when we're getting attacked.
Wait, hold on. But it's a decision that led to more war.
Dude, we got our own land attack. We're not talking about Ukraine and Russia.
But you're just taking objection to objection to decisions that lead to more war. You're taking objections to decisions that lead to more war.
God, this is too fucked up, you guys.
It's because he's making a bad argument. He's saying
it's not making a bad argument, Harry.
His argument is that any decision that leads to more war is bad, and if you make a decision that leads to more war, you're automatically bad. You want more war. So, and you apply that to any other scenario, it's dumb.
Harry, you're not getting it. You're literally saying you're comparing Ukraine and Russia.
Hold on. How about this? Yeah. Because your principle,
you're comparing them to the United States. That's wild. Okay.
Your principle is that a decision that leads to more war is bad. You're just saying, oh, you want Ukraine to defend themselves and you want to help them defend themselves. That leads to more war. That's bad. If you apply that logic to any other conflict, you see how stupid it is. So when Great Britain, for example, was being cut off by German U-boats in World War II and they couldn't trade things, they couldn't import weapons, food, or resources, the United States stepped in and sent them things because we knew that German U-boats would not take out our ships because that would lead to war, right? So but that then led to Germany declaring war on us eventually. Are you saying that the United States doing that was a bad decision because it eventually led to more war and it allowed Great Britain to engage in more war?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so so it's circumstantial then.
No, thing is though, when it comes to
it's not circumstantial.
No, I'm not saying that. I was just listening to you. When it comes to the situation, Harry.
Oh my God, bro.
Harry, the thing is, though, it just blows my baffling mind. You compare Ukraine and Russia to Pearl Harbor.
Oh my God. See, this is how I know you weren't listening. I'm actually not going to let you finish this point because you're completely strawmanning me. I'm not comparing Russia and Ukraine to Pearl Harbor. I'm comparing the fundamental of what you're saying, which is a decision that leads to more war. In this situation, giving Ukraine the ability to have long-range missiles to hit inside Ukraine is automatically bad because it leads to more war. And I'm saying that in any other conflict that we have, when you apply that very logic, you see how stupid it is.
It's kind of stupid to me.
Okay, now hold on a sec. I got to say something here. I've been picking you guys apart for a little bit now.
I was responding after I responded.
All right, hold on, Chad.
All right.
So you just said, we have a conflict. We are not in this conflict whatsoever at all. And people say that. But listen, hold on. So, and I've been reading a lot of these comments. They said that I'm not a independent. I am so far an independent. It's scary. Trump says the dumbest shit a lot of the times, and so don't Biden. It's terrible. But what I'm trying to say is that you guys are saying, you know, Germany and stuff like that. That's years and years and years ago, right?
It's comparing
This is
logic.
what we're talking about today.
No, it's
You know,
comparing logic.
we are talking about. I know what you're doing, and it's great, but this is today's dollars and today's lives. You know, we need to find out what we're going to do today. I mean, it's the decisions we make today define who we are tomorrow, and we are not doing that.
Respectfully, you just said a whole lot of nothing. Yes, yes, that principle existed then as well. That the decisions we make today affect tomorrow. Yes, it's a principle that's existed for a long time. The point in bringing up World War II is that we're comparing his thinking on war, which is a decision that leads to more war, is bad. And I'm saying that in certain circumstances, that is not the case. That's all. And this is one of the circumstances which
right.
leads to more war, which is not a bad choice.
No, I'm trying to think though. Why they're already in a process? Trump was already in a process, even though Biden know about it.
My God, you're repeating the same thing.
No, but
You're repeating the exact same point. I think even Angel might agree with me. You're repeating the exact same point you've been making for like hours.
You're running down the same road, bro.
Yeah,
right,
you're going to
so-
say the exact same thing. That
No, I'm not gonna say
Trump talked to Biden, and Biden talked to Trump, and Trump talked to Putin and
Not
Zelensky.
exactly. I'm just talking about. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, dude.
I'm just talking about why they're already in the process of having peace, and Biden wants to come in there and basically start more active war.
So there's no indication. There's no indication. There's no indication. You know what's funny?
Okay.
You know what's
When's the last time Russia shot missiles? When was the last time Russia shot missiles?
Every
to
day.
Ukraine?
Today, yesterday.
Not every day.
Yesterday.
They haven't shot it for a while, man.
Yesterday.
Because they know. Because they know.
I cannot believe what I'm hearing right now. The idea that Russia just hasn't been shooting missiles, you need to go read more. Because Russia continues to shoot missiles. They shot ICBMs last night.
I know they.
Do you know what an ICBM
Actually,
is?
it wasn't an ICBM.
Do you know what an ICBM is?
Yes, dude, I was in the military, bro. I was in the Navy, man.
Then you would know. Then you would know that's really bad, and that ICBMs have never been used in war before.
Yeah. Do you know why they shot ICBMs?
Wait. Just to be clear, you knew that the answer when you asked the question was last night.
It's literally retaliation. It's a retaliation of what Ukraine did. That's the whole point.
And in your view, Ukraine should just take it.
Do you think they were going to shoot ICBMs if the Ukraine that shot the missiles?
And in your
Actually, it was not an ICBM.
it was an ICBM.
It was ICBM. It was an ICBM.
No,
Yes, it was.
It was an ICBM.
It really wasn't. It was a supersonic missile that wasn't loaded as an ICBM.
No, it is an ICBM. You have to
No, it was
go
an
read the
ICBM. I agree
Associated
on
Press.
Harry on
on
that.
It is.
It was an
See,
ICBM.
when Chad and I agree on something, you know it's the case. So it doesn't matter whether it was retaliation or something like that, right? It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, your question was, when was the last time that Russia shot missiles? Then. And if you just look at this. Just Russia shoots missile at Ukraine. Look, all these different articles talking about
Your
this.
your whole chat's saying it's not ICBM.
What?
The whole chat's literally saying it's not ICBM. I thought it was ICBM. Oh, it is. They're saying it was ICBM without
Yeah, it was non-nuclear. It wasn't nuclear.
Yeah, correct. So the thing is, though, this leads more when it comes to retaliation of this situation. They weren't going to do anything. Putin was bluffing.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is yeah.
Okay. If he really cared about the base when it comes to North Korean soldiers, he would have launched them instantly. He hasn't. Now they're on the preparing to doing it, including he also gave more orders from his administration or his advisors of having higher chance to do nuclear war because they shot those missiles over. So we're going to have a higher chance of nuclear war when it comes to situations as that. Good for you, Harry. If that happens, that would be your administration's fault.
Yeah. So So again, your view. Here's my view. My view is that we should be protecting Ukraine, and we understand that there's a risk of escalation there.
country?
But the
Are they
Ukraine.
NATO
Can you be
countries?
quiet?
They're not a NATO country.
Can you be quiet?
Okay.
Thank you.
They're not a NATO country.
Did I claim that they were a NATO country?
Why should we protect them if they're not a NATO country?
Do you think that that a country that's not a NATO country does not deserve protection?
should we just
Also,
pretend
NATO
like
requires us to get involved
Afghanistan?
militarily. We're not getting involved militarily right now.
No, should we just protect
So,
them?
hey, numbnuts, be quiet, please. So my view is that we should protect Ukraine.
I'm nuts.
Yeah, my view is that we should protect Ukraine because it helps the United States, it preserves global security, and Russia getting stronger is bad. We understand that there's a risk of escalation there. Your view Your view is that we shouldn't be doing that. And then if Russia takes Ukraine, then no problem. How does that affect us? That is the most simple view I've ever heard.
You know what's funny?
Hold on now. Just because there's a threat of something doesn't mean that our efforts to support Ukraine isn't worth it. Doesn't mean that we should just back down now and just let Russia do whatever they want. Russia consistently used nuclear weapons to blackmail us. And Ukraine as well. They constantly say, "Oh well, I'm feeling this got us closer to nuclear war. I think we're going to use a nuclear warhead." How many times have they said that in this war?
It's
handfuls. Oh my God, so many times. So many times they've done that.
Realizing, they started the situation. They were starting to basically border Ukraine in 2018. They never did. They were actually supposed to come in 2020. They never did. When it comes to the situation in 2020, dude, did you not hear about that? Literally, Putin was coming out. They were supposed to invade Ukraine in 2020, but they denied it because of Trump.
No, it's because there was conversation. Russia's always wanted Ukraine. That's why they went into Ukraine in like 2014.
Why didn't invade under Biden?
I'm going to need you to just shut the fuck up, please. I'm just going to need you to shut the fuck up, please. So Russia's always wanted Ukraine, but I was just reading about this in Bob Woodward's new book. During 2020, when COVID happened, Russia was obviously not going to invade Ukraine because Putin was petrified of COVID. Right, like his advisors, he didn't want COVID. He didn't want COVID. It was a bad time. Okay. Russia was occupied with the pandemic. They were in no state to be able to go and invade another country. The idea that you think they wanted to invade Ukraine in 2020 and they didn't because of Trump and it completely ignoring the global pandemic that was taking place and was crippling Russia's economy and their leader was petrified of it. Hey, buddy, what did I say at the beginning of the conversation? When you keep talking, nobody can hear. So just shut the fuck up. No. Keep your microphone muted. Just shut the fuck. No. Keep it muted. I can do this all day, or I can just kick you. Yeah, just shut the fuck up. So Russia was in no state in 2020 to invade.
Harry.
No. Be quiet. Russia was in no state in 2020 to invade.
Dude, that ain't nice.
Well, I'm gonna mute you too then. Goodbye. Russia was in no state in 2020 to be able to invade another country because they were dealing with the pandemic. The pandemic was rippling through Russia. They had no ability to do that. So the idea that you think in 2020 they didn't invade Ukraine because of Donald Trump is the most cult-like garbage shit I've heard. I'm like, get yourself together, buddy. Get yourself together. No. They've wanted this for some time. 2022 was just optimal for them to do so. Because of circumstances that were taking place around the world. There was a new strain of COVID that was ripping through Europe. Great Britain had political divisions. The United States had political divisions. They viewed the world as distracted. They thought that it was an optimal time to strike, and so they did. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump being president. It has nothing to do with Biden being president. JW, thanks for the 20 gifted subs. And if Putin's not a dumb man, as we just came to the conclusion earlier. If Putin's calculus was that, I'm going to invade under Joe Biden because we think that nothing's going to be done, then he's stupider than we thought because Joe Biden was able to unite 50 Western countries against Russia in this war to support Ukraine, whereas Donald Trump would probably have not been able to do that and probably wouldn't have tried to do that. Donald Trump has also flirted with getting out of NATO, which is one of the biggest deterrents of Russia right now, that exists right now. And Donald Trump said that if he got elected president, which he was, if a NATO country went defunct, they didn't pay their 2% dues every year, he would allow Russia to, quote, do whatever the hell they want to that NATO country, and we wouldn't come to their defense. So the idea that Putin is more favorable or likes Biden more in his chances of success in Ukraine versus Donald Trump is laughable.
All right, I'm going to respond to that. So when it comes down to the situation, he said he was afraid of COVID. Okay, COVID started.
How many times have you used the word situation in this conversation, by the way? I'm just out of curiosity.
I'm going to tell you this. So in 2022, right? 2022, when did he invade Ukraine? When was it?
2022.
Correct. What was the highest peak of COVID?
2021.
Late 2021, early 2022. So you're going to say he's afraid of COVID. That's bullshit.
Yeah, in 20. Wait. Oh my God. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. So hold on. No. Be quiet now because you made a worse point than you just made a moment before. When COVID was new in 2020 and we didn't know how to deal with it, we didn't have vaccinations, hospitals were still being set up in Russia because it was plaguing through the country. That is obviously and objectively a different time than early 2022. There was a wave of COVID in early 2022, no doubt. And there was COVID in 2021, no doubt. But we had countries around the world, including Russia, had a better way to deal with it than they did in 2020. And if you ignore that fact, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's just a bad argument.
I'm saying it was a higher rate of deaths or unalive. I've had this on TikTok in late 2021, early 2022. So if he was afraid of COVID, he would have probably never did that. Even though the funny fact is, though, he wanted to do it right before COVID. COVID happened in March of 2020. So if he was going to invade in February of 2020, that doesn't make any sense.
Do you have any evidence that they were planning to invade in February of 2020?
Yeah, it was over Fox News, AP. He also
Okay,
got
go find
arrested.
it. Go find it.
Yeah, it was on the AP. It was on Axios.
But they wanted
it was
to invade
everywhere.
I'm not your
March
slave,
in
man. I mean,
February of
that's not your
2020.
slave. I'm not your slave to do that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, please go find that.
I'm not your slave. You got a computer.
Yeah, the burden of proof is on you. When you say something, you have to cite it. It's not on me.
Dude, literally,
No, the burden of proof is on you. This is how the burden of proof works.
All right, so I get a question for you and Chad, really, and it's a serious one. If you were president, Chad, how could you get out of this situation, and what would be your remedy
You're
plan?
specifically talking about Ukraine and Russia.
No, he's talking
Yeah,
about
because,
how
I mean,
you deal
I
with the
will
leprechauns and the
my first thing
shamrocks and
after-
the
so my first
fairies.
thing- okay, and it's kind of irrelevant because I would
What?
No, I would say it would be irrelevant because I would never be president. But if you're saying it's a theory
Oh,
or
God.
hypothesis, no, I feel not. But
No,
if
I
it
mean,
comes down to sense,
yeah, your theory on how,
I'll answer your
because I
question.
hear both of your
Andrew, I'll
points are
answer your
really,
question.
both of your points are really fucked up, but I want to hear how you think you could remedy the problem on getting out of
So
that.
I'll answer your question, Angel. So if it was me, if I was the first day, say like the first week after January 20th, say January 21st of 2025, all right, I would call up both of them specifically, have them on a three-way phone call, and say, you know what's the plan to do this? How are we going to end this? Because I don't want anyone more to be unalive. At any situation,
That's good.
there's going to be nothing that. If that happens, then we're done. It's game over. Literally, Putin's like, okay, you have to have someone that has a dominant authority to do that. Biden doesn't. Biden doesn't know where he's at. Half
See,
the time.
look, his answer's already stupid.
Okay, all right, that's enough, Chad. You're off topic now. Go, Chad.
How would I
go
get out of
ahead.
this?
Yep. Go
I
ahead.
don't think this is an easy. I don't. So, contrary to what this guy up here said, there's no easy solution. There's no just sit down, have a phone call, and then say, what are we going to do about this? Obviously, that's not a solution here. So, what we should be doing, given the fact that Putin is not interested in peace, no matter what he says in public, because if you believe Putin, then you're as much of a fool as I think you are. What we should be doing is continuously supporting Ukraine, giving them the weapons they need, giving them the ability to defend themselves adequately. And of course, still take a public position of we want peace. We want peace. We want it right now. We want peace this second. All it needs to happen is Russia pulling out of Ukraine, taking the troops, their tanks, whatever, out of Ukraine and stop killing innocent people. And that's it. And the minute that Russia does that, the minute that they pull out of Ukraine, no more funding for Ukraine, no NATO application, no nothing. That's it. We'll leave it there. That's my position.
I agree with that, actually, because now, if, we didn't support Ukraine and we didn't give them, the ATACMS, the tanks and everything else we're doing, I mean, Chad wouldn't want that to happen.
I don't want anyone to die.
Russia would have
Yes.
flattened Ukraine
Yes.
months ago.
Yes, exactly.
It would have been a fucking
Yes.
travesty. But we're the only thing Putin really fears is
Exactly.
strength. And he knows who's standing behind Ukraine. And, Putin will fear that. But, for Chad to say, no, we can't, we shouldn't give them anything like that is absolutely
Yes.
ludicrous.
Yes.
So when it comes to a situation as that, if we gave them more power, it's just going to keep going and over and over. It's never going to fucking end. It's never going to end. It's going to be literally like the Iraqi war. And after that, it's going to be possible. It could literally, it's going to be like, I'm saying this as it's going to be forever. It's going to be literally 8 years to 10 years of this active war. No one wants that. I mean, it's really taxpayer.
Russia's, Chad, Russia's one of the biggest countries in the world. Do you agree?
Landmass. Yes.
Okay, so Ukraine's one of the smaller, European countries other than,
I know.
the obvious. Why hasn't Russia steamrolled
When it comes to
Ukraine?
steamroll Ukraine, if what Harry said earlier was because our basic military was active more upon it, as in the sense they were, we were dominating as in them not coming over. So we're showing authority, supposedly.
Supposedly.
Exactly. No, there's no supposedly.
Okay,
We supported
thing is, though,
Ukraine.
you know what's the active military that they're using, Russia's using right now to basically go to Ukraine? It's like 3% of their military. If they really wanted to. They haven't used barely in their military, bro.
Oh my god. 3% of their military?
How many? Do you know how many troops they got?
Fuck.
Okay. You know how many troops?
Oh my
You know how many
god. Oh
troops
my
they
god.
got?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
You know how many troops they got?
How many troops does Russia have?
They have over 500. I think it was around 400 or 500 million. When it comes to China, when it comes to China situation coming through. But if you want to talk about just Russia,
Wait. Did everybody just hear what this guy just said? That Russia has 500 million troops.
That was not what I was saying. I was talking about the population. My bad. But
Russia doesn't even have 500 million people either.
That's not even right.
I'm talking about when it comes to the war situation, they only have about 400 to 500,000 troops in total.
And you're saying that they've used 3% of that?
They only probably used about 10,000 people in total.
Okay. He's saying Russia's only used 10,000 troops.
Dude, they lost 13,000 troops last month.
So just so you know, if this doesn't tell you how uneducated this dude is on this war, that should tell you right now. He thinks that 10,000 people by Russia have only been used, whereas Angel correctly pointed out that they've lost more than 10,000 last month. They're losing thousands per day.
Yeah.
So
All right. Yeah, we're done here. I appreciate you guys coming up. Chad, you do me a favor. Get the hell out. Angel, I appreciate you coming up. Thanks for being part of this. Oh, my God. Thanks, man. Oh, my God. 10,000 troops have been used. God help me all. Listen. Oh, my God, bro. Yo, Clara, thanks for the $20. Harry, if you're actually interested in starting a Discord, I use an admin, pretty large server. I use the admin. I'm quite familiar with the app. Absolutely. If that happens, I'll let you know. JW, thanks for the gifted sub. Trista, thanks for the $15. You're single. I'm single. We could change that together. Another good one, Trista. Absolutely. Sierra, thanks for the $1. What's your favorite drink? I'm asking so I know what to buy you on our first date. Unironically, favorite. I mean, I think you're talking about alcoholic beverage. I don't know. I don't know. Blair, thanks. I'm going to go through these like super quick because I'm so goddamn pissed off right now. Blair, thanks for the $10 saying for dealing with the crazies. Yeah, I appreciate that. Echo, thanks for the $1 saying platform guest was on Parker's Live earlier and he's insufferable. Well, I agree with that. Molly, thanks for the $5 as well. Hiring me to debate with my friend. Okay, all right. I can't. No, Liv, thanks for the $5. Nothing's more bipartisan than the way I want to reach across your aisle tonight. Okay, Liv. Okay, Liv. All right. I like the political. You know, I'm a political. I like it. Echo, thanks for the $5. AI Biden picture. Yeah. Jessica, thanks for the $1. Love that you have an old-fashioned name and you're a Zoomer. Okay, I appreciate that. Corey, thanks for the $1. I want to preface this that you're too young for me, but I thought of a good pickup line and wanted to join the fun. Are you universal healthcare? Because you've got my heart covered. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you, Corey. Thanks for being here. Blair, thanks for the $5. I really don't understand how you're being so patient. I don't think I was all that patient, to be honest. But Jake, thanks for the $2 for dealing with Angel and Chad. I appreciate you. And Corey, thanks for the $50. Yo, fill the chat with W's for Corey right here. $50. My brain hurts. Drop them both. Corey, I wish I saw this message earlier. I would have. I mean, oh my God, that was so painful. It was so painful. Corey, thank you for the $50. I appreciate you. Drop some W's in the chat for him. Colleen, thanks for the $1. Can't even bring myself to flirt. I just feel too bad. You have to have this insufferable conversation. I appreciate that, Colleen. Thank you. Seriously, it was painful. Priscilla, thanks for the $10. God bless you for putting up with this much insanity. Much love. It is incredibly difficult. 10,000. Oh my God. Carrie, thanks for the $1. I'm sorry you have to deal with these numbnuts tonight. Instead, take your mind off them and let me numb. Oh man. I can't read that out on live, but I appreciate you, Carrie. Melissa, thanks for the $10. Don't have to read out loud. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate that. That's very kind. Chris, thanks for the $5. Please ask him if a woman is hit by her husband, should she wait until an authority steps in or may it lead to her being beaten more? That's also a good point. I wish I would have seen that. What state do you live in? I'm in Massachusetts. I'm in New York. Great state of New York. Jake, thanks for the $1. Question for you. How do you deal with people saying we need to spend money on our veterans in our own country before helping Ukraine? I say that we can do both. Both are valid ventures. Isabella, thanks for the $1. What's your opinion on the MCU? Like Marvel? I think it's cool. And Nelia, thanks for the $10 for Tylenol dealing with the Dumb and Dumber. Yeah, I'm going to need it. Lynette, thanks for the $11. I appreciate that. I won't read that out, obviously, but I appreciate you. Jenna, thanks for the $44.62, saying I love how much more unhinged you become with MAGA. I mean, yeah, I just... I can't deal with some of these people. But I appreciate you, Jenna. W's in the chat for Jenna for $44. That's incredibly kind. I appreciate you, Jenna. Cameron, thanks for the $1. Call me Uncle Sam because I want you so bad. I appreciate that. Will, thanks for the $3. Amber, thanks for the $10, defending us Dems and helping us all learn more. I appreciate you, Amber. And Amber, again, a different Amber, thanks for the $10. I love you. You're the reason I voted for Harris. Well, I'm flattered, Amber. I'm flattered. Thank you guys so much. Sorry, I kind of speed ran through all of that stuff. But, anyway. Venmo, Cash App, link in bio if you want to support the live. Drop a follow if you want to support the live. We do these lives all the time. And normally I'm not screaming at people like that. Oh my God. Also, make sure to double tap the screen. Wow, we're at 700,000 likes. Let's try to get to 800,000 likes super quickly. It helps boost the live, send it out to more people. You know the drill. And Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff is in the link in my bio. So if you're MAGA, let me know. I'll bring you up and we can talk, all right? Let me know if you're MAGA. I'll bring you up and we can talk. This guy says he's MAGA. I swear to God, if I have another person come up... Oh my God, there's 2 of them again. We'll do another 2-on-1. That's fine.
Yo, what's up, Harry?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm good. You support Trump?
Yes, I support Trump.
Why?
I think he's a pretty effective foreign policy president. I think his foreign policy was pretty sound. I think we were a lot more respected on the foreign stage.
Okay, by what metric were we respected? Like, why do you think that?
Well, I mean, no one was, encroaching on our interests,
Really? Why did Iran attack us then?
Iran attacked us.
Iran attacked us under Donald Trump.
No, we attacked Iran. We took out their Quds Force general. That's what actually happened.
Except if Donald Trump was so scary, then why would Iran attack us back?
Attack us, they just hit a base where literally just hit nothing just to say they did something. We took out their general.
109 U.S. soldiers got injured as a result and got traumatic brain injuries.
Yeah, they got injured. It's terrible. They got injured, but we took out their general, bro.
Yeah. If we were so scary, why did they attack us? That didn't happen under Joe Biden. We haven't been attacked by Iran under Joe Biden.
It was just obviously, taking out their main general. There was just retaliatory missiles they sent, and they purposely hit just the runway. I believe they hit the runway of their one of the bases or something there.
They didn't just hit a runway. Injured. What are you talking about? Oh my God,
I remember, they hit some kind of base.
Yeah, but if Donald Trump was so big and scary, that wouldn't have happened. And if Donald Trump was so big and scary, more American soldiers wouldn't have died under him than Joe Biden. But that's what happened.
No, of course, more soldiers were alive during Trump's presidency because he obviously inherited a bunch of conflicts, right? When he came in, he didn't start those conflicts.
So did Joe Biden inherited a bunch of conflicts.
What did he inherit?
All the same war, everything that was still going on under Donald Trump, Joe Biden inherited.
Oh, the Ukraine invasion happened under Trump?
No. I'm saying that in terms of the United States, in terms of soldiers being in terms of soldiers being involved in a military conflict, fighting in a war, all the same conflicts that existed under Donald Trump when he took office existed by the end of his presidency, and Biden inherited those.
And I don't fault Biden for the 13 people that were unalived during the Afghanistan poll. I don't think it's fair to pin there was a 20-something soldiers that were unalived under Trump. It's not. I mean,
it was 65.
Or 65 or
so my point to you is that if we were if we were so respected under Donald Trump and nobody wanted to mess with us and whatnot, Iran wouldn't attack us, more American soldiers wouldn't have died under Donald Trump, leaders wouldn't be laughing at Donald Trump. I mean, when he was giving a speech at the UN, he was literally laughed at the middle of his speech. The people of all these different countries would have had high approval ratings of Donald Trump. They didn't. None of this would have been the case, but it was.
NATO actually put in more. Actually, he raised more money with NATO than ever.
Well, actually, Biden has more people paying their dues under him than Donald Trump.
Well, yeah, because there's actual conflicts. So now it's oh shit.
No, it's not because there's actual conflicts.
Yeah, there's actual conflict potentially could spill into Europe. What are you talking about?
So there was conflict before. Biden has just been able to get NATO countries to pay their dues more so.
What conflict was Russia in? With the
conflict, Russia still occupied Crimea and the Donbass region from 2014.
Yeah.
Onward.
Oh, okay. So what happened with Crimea? Everyone talks about this Budapest memorandum. How come there was no Budapest memorandum when Crimea was?
Yeah, I think we should have had a stronger response to Russia's invasion of Crimea. I don't disagree.
So at least we know that. We could both agree that it was a weak response under the Biden and Obama time.
Yeah, I wish the response would have been better for sure.
Yeah. Okay. But then when Trump came in, they took nothing. They invaded. They did nothing under.
They still occupy.
Trump.
Wait, if Donald Trump was also so strong in fear, then why wasn't he able to get Crimea and the Donbass back to Ukraine?
That's not Trump's job to get Crimea back for Ukraine.
Why
They're
not? Why wouldn't that? I
because
mean,
they're not
look,
part
if
of NATO,
Donald
they're
Trump
not-
is making it his job to end the war, apparently in 24 hours, and as president-elect, then why wouldn't he be able to get the Donbass back to Ukraine?
I think he is going to end the war.
That's not what
I
I asked.
absolutely think he is going to end the war.
Okay.
By the way, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd believe that Donald Trump would be able to end this war, or at least end the war in a good way. Because he
What's
also
a
just
good
lies.
way?
He lies. I mean, he lied like
Hold on,
30,000
what's-
times during his presidency.
What's the good way that you're thinking? Like, what is the good way that he's gonna that you think is the good way?
A good way to end the
war?
war is Ukraine not giving up any land.
That's so. You think that's feasible at this point? Do you think that Ukraine
Yeah.
has a chance to literally get all their land back?
Yes. With the
you don't think-
defense, absolutely.
And you think? And do you think Ukraine is winning or losing right now?
I think it's kind of stalled right now. There hasn't been much movement on the front lines.
Okay. Yeah. Did you hear about the ICBM that was launched today? Under
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, do you think there's a massive escalation to this conflict now?
I think
since
things have
Biden-
escalated recently, yes.
Yeah. Do you think that had anything to do with Biden giving the approval to use long range missiles?
I'm sure it had something to do with that.
Okay. So more people being unalive than Ukraine, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's obviously a bad thing, but Ukraine has to be able to
Okay.
defend themselves.
Ukraine, I think, is looking for a position to actually end this war at this point, because there is no position. They have no way of getting those, the Donbass back.
Yeah, I think
Right.
that Ukraine
They have
wants
no
to end
way
the
of
war
doing
as
that.
well, but Ukraine has also wanted to end the war for years now. We've been trying. Russia just doesn't want to.
Russia doesn't want to. Russia's ready to end the war right now as long as they keep the Donbass.
Yeah, that's
That's
not what's being reported. So what's actually being reported by news agencies is that Russia wants to end the war, or wants to end the war, because they've been saying this for years now, yet they continue to bomb Ukraine. So I take that with a grain of salt in the first place, because that's just what Putin wants. But also Putin doesn't want to make any concessions to Donald Trump, meaning that he doesn't want to give up any of the land he has right now. The only thing that they might be open to is giving like a little bit of land back, a little tiny bit of land back, but nothing else.
What's a little tiny thing? I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to give back like Bakhmut, Adika, a lot of the. I mean, they're just going
No.
to keep the Donbass. That's what I think is going to happen.
They're not going to. There's no, at least in this moment in time, there's not a reality of which Putin's like, yeah, all the war, all the land that we've encroached on so far, we're just going to give back to them.
There will be concessions. You don't think there'll be an actual concession
No,
of some lands?
it's being reported that Putin doesn't want to make any concessions.
Well, we'll see what happens. I guess. Would you give
Sure, we'll
Trump a
see
win
what
when that happens?
What?
If Trump were to negotiate a situation where they keep the Donbass but give back a bunch of that land back, would you say that's a win or a loss?
That'd be great. That'd be great if we can get that done. That'd be great.
Okay,
But I don't think that's going to happen.
That's what I honestly think is going to actually happen.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Okay.
All right. Anything
I don't know
else?
what's talking to you. No, that's it, bro.
All right, man. You have a good one. I appreciate coming up. Golly, dude. I mean, oh my god. Eric, thanks for the 20 cents. Look at this guy saying, keep veterans and military out of your mouth. You don't support God and country. You don't have support from us. Eric, what a stupid comment, because your guy, Donald Trump, is the guy who's disparaged veterans and service members, calling fallen American soldiers losers and suckers. And he said that John McCain, who is a Purple Heart recipient and war hero, wasn't actually a war hero because he got captured. So what a stupid comment, quite frankly. And also, the fact that Joe Biden passed the PACT Act, the largest expansion of veterans health care in a very long time. So how about you be quiet? Sydney, thanks for the $2. Are you an artist? Because oh my God. I can't read that out either. Clara, thanks. Appreciate the $5. I don't know if you missed reading my last message. No, I saw it. And I said, yeah, if I create a Discord, I will let you do what you got to do with it. Linda, thanks for the $1. Smartest man in the room besides Parker. Sure, I'll take it. Lizard, thanks for the $6.66. Just say Lizard. Okay, there you go. All right, if you're MAGA, let me know. I'll bring you up. I'm so oh my God, bro. Make sure to drop a... Hold on. The lighting's bad. Make sure to drop a follow. Hello, bro? What? Make sure to drop a follow. We are 32 followers away from 400 for the night. So, yeah, do that. That'd be nice. Ryan says he's MAGA. Let's give him a shot. Venmo, Cash App, and the link in the bio if you want to support the live.
Yo,
Look at Angel in the chat is literally saying MAGA. That guy was trying to say he's moderate. What?
how's it going, man?
What's up, Ryan?
I've literally been trying to talk to you for like, I don't know, like a week now.
Oh, you're here.
So what? Can you give me your definition of quote MAGA? Like, I voted for Trump, right? But I don't.
Yeah.
MAGA.
It's just the ideology. So Trump says like, you know, I'm MAGA. We're all MAGA. Things like that. It's the ideology that Trump possesses.
So look, there's a specific reason why I've been wanting to talk to you specifically for about a week. I'm a Republican. I voted for Trump. I have my reasons for it. But I also believe that you have a large following. You're a very well-spoken young man, and you could probably do well in politics yourself. Why don't you run for politics?
I'm not ruling out running for office in the future.
You know, and as a Republican, I would probably even vote for you because you are very well-spoken. Like, and I would even consider you a gentleman. You do try to get along with some people. I do notice that you argue with a lot of people, but I do notice that a lot of people like to argue with you.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I would love your vote. I don't know. We probably don't live near each other, so if I were starting locally, you wouldn't be able to vote. But I appreciate that.
Pennsylvania.
I wouldn't run in Pennsylvania, but maybe one day if I run nationally, maybe.
But now, if you want to ask why I voted for Trump, I voted for Trump because, truthfully, yes, and this is going to upset a lot of Republicans, but yes, Trump lies a lot, but you can discredit his lies with a simple Google search. You know what I mean? Like, you can see through his lies. But he also runs his mouth, so you kind of know what the man's going to do. He doesn't hide anything. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, yes.
And it's so unfortunate because I do wish the man would just shut his mouth sometimes. But at the same time, it's actually a good thing because then we know what he's going to do.
All I'm hearing are reasons why you shouldn't have voted for him.
You're probably right, but there's also I couldn't vote for Kamala. I just couldn't do it.
Why?
I didn't see anything in the last 4 years. Before the last 4 years, I didn't even know who she was. But I didn't see anything in the last 4 years that said, wow, this person is a genuine good person. She just seemed like a horrible individual to me.
Okay. Wait. So, okay. All right. Just make something clear to me. So you have a man who you acknowledge lies a lot. He runs his mouth. He's a convicted felon. He's a proven sexual abuser in court. He's a proven business fraudster in court. And you vote for him. But Kamala Harris, who has dedicated her life to public service, working as District Attorney of San Francisco, then Attorney General of California, then Senator from California, now Vice President, specifically in her roles as DA and Attorney General, fighting for people, getting justice for people, taking on fossil fuel companies that polluted water and air, taking on fraudulent universities that scammed people out of their degrees for money and getting that money back to the people and more. And when she was district attorney, putting killers, assaulters, robbers in jail and fighting for victims. You think that she's a bad person, but Donald Trump is not, or at least not bad enough for you to not vote for him.
See, I don't know about her past. To be honest with you, she ran her campaign purely on. She ran her campaign wrong. If she wanted my vote, she needed to run on facts and what she was going to do to fix this country, not what Donald Trump was going to do to screw up the country worse. And that's what she ran it on.
So do you think that, first of all, I disagree. She gave out a number of pieces of policy proposals that you probably agree with, such as working with developers to build 3 million new houses in her first 4 years of office, and also giving first-time home buyers $25,000 in down payment assistance so we can get more young families into homes and that makes them more economically stable. She wanted to cut 100 million Americans' tax cuts, specifically like the middle class. She wanted to make it easier to start a small business by increasing the standard tax deduction for small businesses from $5,000 to $50,000. So your first 50 grand is tax free, so you can operate your business and make some money and get it off the ground. Along with a number of other things like continuing to invest in manufacturing, continue to expand healthcare, things of that nature. those are the policies she ran on. She spoke about them frequently. But aside from that, do you think that Donald Trump ran a factual campaign of which he talked about what he wanted to do?
I think that a lot of the things that he talked about, he's capable of doing. And I know that's something you don't want to hear. I know that's something you don't want to hear, Harry. And look, I get it. You're a Democrat. This is how you're supposed to feel. But like the last gentleman said, Kamala wouldn't be able to end the war in Ukraine. I think Trump can. I'm hoping he can assist end the war in Ukraine. Look, Biden just made it 100 times worse. Now, I don't know what the purpose behind that was.
I don't know. Putin made it 100 times worse. This is what I don't understand about a lot of Republicans, and I'm not saying you specifically, but why do you blame the American president for standing with an ally and not the Russian president for increasing the tension? He didn't have to bring in North Korean troops. He didn't have to escalate that. He did. So why are we blaming Biden for rightfully standing by our ally? I just never understand why we take the side of, or many Republicans at least today, take the side of Putin and not Biden, the current sitting president of the United States. Kamala Harris would have been able to end the war. She would probably been able to do it better than Donald Trump. I mean, she is a former prosecutor. She knows her way around an argument. She knows her way around dealing with bad people, right? So she's also just like incredibly smart, incredibly educated. Donald Trump, talks about fictional characters when he gives speeches. So, and also just to the reason I'm baffled by what you said about I think Donald Trump's going to be able to get done what he says he wants to do is, we already saw him as president the first time, and he didn't do anything. He didn't get a new health care plan passed like he promised. He didn't get an infrastructure bill passed like he promised. He didn't build the wall like he promised. Thank you, JW. He didn't get Mexico to pay for the wall like he promised. He didn't do any of these things. So why all of a sudden, after seeing him get done nothing the first time, do you think that now he's a changed man and he's going to be able to get all these things done in the next 4 years?
But can we agree on the fact that, and also, and I will stipulate that this affected both Trump and, for crying out loud, I'm too tired for this. Trump and the current president, gosh darn it, Biden.
There you go.
The coronavirus did affect a lot of stuff.
Agreed.
And it affected Trump, it affected Biden both. So, there's a lot of Republicans that are like, oh, Biden didn't do this, Biden didn't do that. Well, we were trying to figure out how to restart our country. But at the same time, at the end of Trump's presidency, and I will stipulate the end of Trump's presidency, he was pretty focused on that as well. Now, there was a lot of stupid suggestions that he threw out there, like the medication that he suggested using. And as a former healthcare professional, I don't suggest that, but
how did you end up voting for Donald Trump? You were a Kamala Harris voter through and through, or should have been a Kamala Harris voter. I understand you say you couldn't vote for her. I still don't understand why. But you just this entire conversation proves to me that you don't agree with Donald Trump. You know this guy is not that bright, right? He's not that good at what he does.
I wouldn't go as far to say as he's not that bright. I think he's just too full of himself,
which is a really bad trait to have in a leader. You'd agree?
I would agree with that. Yeah, but at the same time, Kamala Harris, everything I saw, it was just an attack on somebody else and pushing away from something that was being said to her. I never felt like she was avoiding the drama rather than pushing towards it. Now, that could have been just the ads that just so happened to have been focused towards my cell phone, because I don't watch television. I don't watch none of that stuff. But that just so happens to be what came across my phone, maybe.
All right, let me ask you this. Where do you get your news? When you're saying, I saw these ads, or I saw her say this, or I saw that, or Trump say that, whatever. Where do you see that stuff mostly? And this is not even, part of the debate. I'm just curious.
No, I specifically do not watch news. It's too depressing.
Okay. Do you read the news? Do you read the New York Times, or do you, get your news from TikTok or social media? Where do you get it from?
To be honest, a lot of the times I just catch up on things that are happening over Google. I look things up specifically.
You look things up specifically. So would you say, that's the main way you get your news? Where does social media rank on that?
I would say, honestly, between Facebook and TikTok.
Yeah, Facebook and TikTok. And like when you say you Google stuff, like and this might be a hard question to answer, and I recognize it's kind of like hard to put a line there. But what percentage of your news do you get from social media? Like, is it like 10%, 20%, 50%? Like, where do you put
all of it? All of it. Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah. Honestly.
What as opposed to Google? So you say you like look up stuff directly. Does that?
Probably. Well, if we're saying opposed to Google, then probably around 40%.
40%. Okay. That I just curious because obviously, like I do this every single day of my life. I'm just curious where people get their news.
Yeah. No, I get it. But I just want you to know because I see that my wife's because we got newborn twins. I see my wife's actually getting ready for bed.
Oh, take care of that. Go do your thing, man.
Thank you. But what I said earlier, I honestly meant. You have a huge following. You're a very good speaker, and you seem like a very intelligent young man.
Thank you.
And I hope that you run for politics, and I believe that you could actually maybe make a change. And I believe that you could do some good.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Even if we disagree, I appreciate that. That means a lot. It's very kind of you to say. So truly, like, genuinely, I appreciate you saying that. And I also appreciate you wanting to come up here and talk. That's also, it's great. I'm glad the dialogue is open. But listen, you got newborn twins, man. First of all, congratulations for that.
Thanks.
Second of all, go take care of them. Go do your thing. I know you're going to have probably a long night ahead of you. So,
Oh yeah, we've been having a lot of them. They just my one twin was just in Pittsburgh Children's Hospital trying to figure out why he's sick so much. So
God, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I hope everything's okay. It will be. I just
it will. Yeah, everything came back normal. So he's home now.
Wonderful. Well, go get some rest. Go get the twins some rest as well, and the wife, of course. But yeah, man, I appreciate you. You're welcome to come back another time and talk further if you'd like.
All right, buddy. Have a good night.
All right, Ryan. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Rob, thanks for the $6.66. As a disabled combat vet, I support you. Well, Rob, I support you too, man. Thank you for your service. Yeah, I appreciate you being here. Linda, thanks for the $1. MAGA likes short and simple answers. Well, the what's his face, the Chad guy. Yeah, you couldn't talk for more than 5 seconds without him checking out. Justin, thanks for the $13. Sometimes people can't see past their own misogyny. I think like some of the main reasons that Kamala Harris lost was like the economy. People blamed her, and immigration. People blamed her. But I also think that like there was an element of misogyny in this. Like truly, I think it was not for people like the man we just spoke to, the gentleman we just spoke to. But I think there are some people out there who just can't get past it. Bella, thanks for the $5. Oh, sorry, it just like glitched out. Bella, thanks for the $5. Christmas is almost a month away. I've been oh wow. Oh wow. I can't read this out. I can't read this out, Bella. I can't read that out. I'll just say I've been good this year, so I expect you to be under my tree. Oh my God. Preferably with nothing on but a bow. Jeez, that was difficult. That was, jeez Louise. Bella, that was bold. That was bold. I appreciate you. Thanks for the $5. Alexis, thanks for the $2. Yeah, that was bold, man. That was bold. Alexis, thanks for the $2. Why is the bar so low for Trump but so high for Kamala? He gets so many passes because no one's perfect, but she gets criticized because we're scared of women. Yeah, I totally agree. A lot of people just like the bar is in the floor for Donald Trump. So if he says something like a little bit nice, or he says something factual once, everybody says, oh, well, he's okay. Or, he does something bad, they say, oh, it's just Trump. But if Kamala Harris does something like that, well, it's the end of the world. It's the end of the world. So I agree. Yo, JW, man, thanks for the $50, brother. I appreciate that so much. Thanks for being here. Hope you appreciate the subs, of gifting subs to your top gifters. Yo, JW, I appreciate that so much. Thanks for showing love to the top gifters. I appreciate you doing that, my man. And yeah, I see you're sending out a bunch of subs. So W for him. Can we get some W's in the chat for JW? My man, give some love to JW. Give some love to JW. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here, and thanks for your continued support. You're always here showing some love, so it means a lot, man. Thanks for being here. And Trista, thanks for the $5. Can you be my Peloton bike coach? I'd like to learn from the best. I'd say go with Alex Toussaint on Peloton. Alex Toussaint. That's hopefully I'm pronouncing. I think that's his name. Yeah, I'm pronouncing it correctly. He's particular about his name. He said it one time. So Alex Toussaint, he's fantastic. Anybody here do Peloton? Because if you do Peloton, I want to know. I think Alex Toussaint is the goat. That's just my personal preference. Jordan, thanks for the $15. Let's just get married. I have a bunch of dogs. I appreciate that. The dogs are a plus. Let's see. Ali, I do Peloton. I wish. All right. This guy keeps saying he's rejected. He keeps having a fit in the chat. So we'll give him an invite and see if he wants to come up. Let's try to get to 1 million likes. We're almost there. Also drop a follow. We are 78 followers away from 500 for the night. Amber, thanks for the boxing gloves. So make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. Let's try to get to 500. And of course, the Venmo and the Cash App. By the way, Jordan, dogs are a big positive. We love dogs. Venmo, Cash App, link in bio. Stretching. If you want to support the live, Venmo, Cash App, link in bio. All right, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. I can't really hear you.
You can hear me?
There, it's better now.
Okay, sorry. I have my finger over the mic.
So what's up, man?
Yeah, I was wanting to jump in on this whole discussion on Ukraine, what should have been done, what could be done, and all that.
Okay.
So, there was discussion on what Biden shouldn't have done recently, what Trump's been trying to do, how the conflict should have been handled earlier on in the administration. So I just wanted to also clear up some things about what actions were taken. So, when the news reports that the United States has launched long-range missiles into Ukraine. So first of all, long-range missiles, what we did, although it's being construed differently by the news, is that long-range missiles on U.S. arsenal, they will be ballistic missiles as well. So let's make that clear. And no, it was not an ICBM that Russia launched at the United States. It was an intermediate range ballistic missile. It's not the same. It's vastly different.
I just have AP reporting here saying they launched an ICBM.
Yeah, that was the hot news, the best way to, draw attention to it early on. But in actuality, and I say this from having experience, I spent 12 years in the Navy, done multiple strategic deterrent patrols on submarines, and this is sort of my background.
Yeah, the paragraph here I think says it well. It's not that the media is trying to get clicks. It's just the classification of missile. The Pentagon Deputy Press Secretary Sabrina Singh confirmed that Russia's missile was a new experimental type of intermediate range missile based on its RS-26 Rubeis intercontinental ballistic missile.
Sure, it's a warhead of an ICBM, but it's not the body.
So that's the point. That's the significant part, right? That we're talking about. So we don't deny the range of the missile, but it's the makeup of the missile that's important, right? So,
and my point is that there has to be some concessions made here, so that whether you want to admit it or not, it was possible. It still is possible for Trump to have, brokered a peace deal. Now, what that looks like and what people's opinion of what is best is varied, obviously. But basically, and you have to ask yourself honestly, what does peace look like in the future? I know you mentioned what you'd like to see is Putin just pull out completely, give everything back. But what you know of Putin, what you know of Russian culture, do you actually think that is a possibility? Because let's be honest, Ukraine has no capability to defeat Russia entirely. Doesn't matter how many weapons we send them. It really doesn't matter because they do not have the population to wield such weapons to fight Russia. Russia's given their worst to us. They've not used any of their newest stuff. They're doing that on purpose. And there's no version.
And their economy is also collapsing. So
it's being hurt. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
It's being
inflation is
hurt.
like skyrocketing in Russia. Like it's, we in the United States were very upset when we had 9% inflation, justifiably so, because a lot of people were hurting. But Trump has Russia has like 60% inflation on some of their products, some of their goods
Sure.
that people buy, and like mortgage rates are going up. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Point is, Russia's economy is collapsing. So war is more than just what happens on the battlefield. That Russia has some of their new stuff, like they haven't used it yet. If Russia's economy collapses under the pressure of sanctions and under the pressure of inflation and things like that, then the war is the least of their worries. Right?
So let's say that happens, right? So
Yeah.
let's say that happens. What is Putin going to do in that case?
Who knows? Who knows? But that's a bridge we'll cross when we get there.
That's a bridge we don't want to cross, because
of course
what
not.
it comes down to is he will launch nuclear weapons because he has nothing left to lose.
He'll have a
Literally
lot
nothing.
to lose. I never understand this point that he'll have nothing left to lose, so he'll just shoot a nuclear weapon. Like, I think that completely ignores any semblance of reality, because if Russia's economy is collapsing, the last thing that Russia wants to do is be engaged in a broader conflict. The last thing they want to do is have their back against the wall with the United States now knocking because they just launched a nuclear weapon, and the damage from that is unprecedented in at least Eastern Europe history.
I mean, that's debatable, and that's like pretty far in the. I wouldn't say that. Possibly not far in the future, but like I was saying, on what peace looks like, it is possible that Trump could broker a deal, because whether you believe them or not, they have said that they are open to the idea, and what that peace probably looks like is them keeping the lands that they have taken so far. Not ideal. Russia being stronger is not to our benefit, right? It'd been great if they never invaded, but it happened. And that's what needs to happen. And if that was the case, if it's at all possible for Trump to have brokered a deal, then the solution was not to escalate. And as far as in the last couple months, I'll say North Korea being brought into the fight is an escalation. It didn't necessarily mean we need to then launch long-range missiles, but we needed to meet it in some kind, right? So I'll give that, right? But if Trump was possibly going to broker a deal, develop it, take steps towards it, then we needed to be careful, because what we really don't need is an open war with Russia. United States at war with Russia. It will be a world war, and it'll be way worse than any world war in the past, because it will likely end in nuclear war, without a doubt.
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants that. But at the end of the day, we can't just cower when Russia says nuclear. If they say the word nuclear, we can't be like, well, what?
We have to meet in kind. I agree. You can't just ignore them. I mean, but I think particularly choosing to authorize long-range strikes was the wrong choice.
I disagree. Because this is something that that Ukraine has been very clear could help them in their effort against Russia. They've been very clear about this. They've made this known to us. And the United States has so far been reluctant to do that because it's an escalation. So if Ukraine thinks that it helps them, given the recent events with North Korean troops being involved, I have no problem with that. And as what I was saying is, we can't just cower at the word nuclear. So Russia does this all of the time. They do it all of the time. They use the word nuclear to scare people. And you know what? The American media, or not the American media, the American populace falls for it every single time. Every single time Putin breaks out the word nuclear, we go, well, we have to stop supporting Ukraine. They always do it. It's always an empty threat. So them doing it now, saying, oh, we're going to start using nuclear weapons, or signing a new declaration saying that they're going to use nuclear weapons if the United States, yada, 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 you know the drill. It's nonsense. We don't just cower away and say, well, we have to let Russia take Ukraine.
And here's the thing with that is, there are lines of communication that are not but the media is not the lines of communication of other countries. And we say the same things to them. We remind them each time that they tell us, mention nuclear, that we're like, by the way, we also do. It's called the mutually assured destruction, mantra. That's just part of it. We've been doing that since the weapon was invented. right? So that's
Yeah, but the problem is that we don't bring it up, right? We're not sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna like nuke Ukraine," or excuse me, nuke Russia. I keep messing up the two countries. We're not
think
gonna
you
nuke Russia.
underestimate-
Whereas Russia is openly saying like, "Yeah, we're gonna use nuclear weapons or tactical nukes against Ukraine," and have like flirted with that possibility very publicly. So and I don't even think the United States like often is reminding Russia of that. This is just Russia knows, right? They know
No.
exactly what we have.
We do. So I was on board submarines, and we multiple times would make moves and expose ourselves to Russia purposefully to remind them that we have capability to strike them anytime we want to.
I think, yeah, but the point is, I think Russia knows that. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like Russia consistently and often just says nuclear warhead, nuclear warhead. The United States, in the context of this conflict, I'm not saying previous conflicts or other conflicts or just between us two in a relationship, in our relationship as countries. But at least in this conflict, we're not often saying, oh, well, we have nukes.
We don't
That's
broadcast it over media. I'm saying I have been on deployments in the last year and a half where we have exposed ourselves purposely to prove
I'm aware. I'm aware that, but I'm talking about in this conflict specifically. So I understand that the United States has a lot of different things when it comes to like our relationship with Russia. Obviously, a lot of these things are not reported, right? Or they're not in the public media. My point is that Russia consistently makes these empty threats. And if the United States ever brings it up, it's because Russia brought it up first.
Right. But okay. Yeah, but I'm just pointing out that we have a lot of different things in our arsenal, and long-range missiles in particular was probably not the correct choice. I mean, you have to admit when mistakes are made. You know, if we truly want peace.
That's fine. Whatever. I don't think it's a mistake.
Okay. I mean, that's just a difference of opinion.
Sure.
So, yeah, and like I said, I think what peace looks like is probably Putin maintaining control of a portion, if not all, of what they've taken so far.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
It's better than this, because if this goes on and on and on, right? If we draw this out, Russia is going to continue to take more land and more area, which would be worse for us, right? So it'd be better to fight them financially, and hopefully we do crumble their economy, and then they lose control of Ukraine once again, just like when the USSR collapsed, and bide our time with what they've taken. I think that's the shortest way to peace, as far as people actively being killed on a day-to-day basis.
If Ukraine wants to fight, we should let them fight, right? So of course we want peace, but Ukraine wants to continue to fight against Russia and continue to take back more land, or at least try to take back more land. And as long as Ukraine wants to do that, we should be supporting them. In terms of like what's the most likely thing to happen, we shall see. I think that if you asked this question to us a year ago, we would have had a different answer, and a year ago before that, you would have had a different answer as well. It's an evolving situation. So I don't think it's right to say, well, this is what's going to happen, and like, you know, this is the most likely thing. Things could change tomorrow in the sense that for Ukraine side or not Ukraine side. And so I think it's an evolving situation. I think right now the best move is to not just give up a bunch of land to Russia and say, this is what it is, because we can't just think temporarily. We have to think in the future as well, because if Russia feels emboldened, they just take this land, they know that as long as they invade Ukraine, we'll just say, oh, well, we have to come to a peace deal and you can have the land that you've taken, but nothing else. They'll just continue to do this. It'll just be a cycle. Every 10 years, 15 years, they'll be like, okay, we're going into Ukraine now. Okay, we're going into Ukraine now. Okay, we're going into Ukraine now.
We have to make more efforts to bolster Ukraine. That's what should have happened as soon as we saw Russia building up their forces on the Ukrainian border. It was not a matter of once the conflict started, what are you going to do to stop it then? It should never have started, because we should have made Ukraine look like such a problem that they would have never proceeded, right? We should have sent way more aid in the beginning.
The goal was to avoid that, right? The goal was to avoid that. So Russia had built up their troops well before they invaded, and they had, were building hospitals and were digging moats and ditches and things like that. And we actually met with the Russians before that. Biden met with Putin in Geneva, and they talked about this. And after that, Putin kind of backed down a little bit, and it wasn't going to happen. And so we, the United States, were like, okay, well, we're not going to ship a bunch of stuff over to Ukraine, especially because nothing had been approved by Congress. And trying to convince the Republicans at the time that this is going to happen was incredibly difficult. That's the way the government works. So we were trying to not do that, but then they invaded, and then of course the Republicans were finally like, oh, okay, this is actually happening, and then they agreed. But we have to understand that it's not as just simple as like, oh, we either do or don't send things. It's like, well, we have to go through bodies of government to get it done.
Sure. To to a degree. I mean, there are things we could have done that can be administrative decisions made by the executive branch prior to congressional approval.
Yeah, there's some things, but you would acknowledge that broadly funding can't just be like sent by the executive.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like I'm saying is that Ukraine should be made is what we call in the military a hard target, and in making it look like it is going to be way more losses for them in the beginning. They were able to take a lot of ground in the beginning that they basically got for free, because we should have sent way more instead of the sort of trickle effect over long periods of time of munitions and armament. It should have been massive packages in the beginning, and we would have saved ourselves money and time, later on now.
Yeah, I mean, hindsight's 2020, but again, we this was a conversation that was happening actively. We just couldn't go through a divided Congress like that. And try to convince them of the severity of this. And there was some things, we had been supporting Ukraine for quite some time. But then again, if your idea was like, oh, we should be supporting Ukraine so much so that Russia doesn't want to attack them, then I don't know why you'd vote for Donald Trump when we had that whole entire impeachment of Donald Trump for withholding aid to Ukraine unless they gave dirt to him on Joe Biden or at least announced an investigation to him. He was impeached for that, right? And we had the transcript of the phone call. So that doesn't sound very pro-Ukraine to me. And I wouldn't.
He was impeached because they just didn't want him in office. It was just look for anything.
No, he was not. He was not impeached because they didn't want him in office. It's because he was trying to engage in a quid pro quo. You don't go asking first of all, you don't go asking foreign nations for dirt on an opponent, and second of all, you certainly don't go asking foreign nations for dirt on an opponent. And if they don't give you that dirt, you'll withhold U.S. aid, which, by the way, the aid was withheld for quite some time.
I mean, I don't want to get too far into that because it's been a while since I've read up on all that, so I'm not prepared to go through all that. But I think, all in all, my main point is I think it was a mistake and I think there may be some malice, not particularly on Joe Biden's part, because let's be honest, decisions aren't solely made by the president. But I think there was some malice as to preventing Trump from brokering a deal because people didn't like how it was going to turn out.
I don't see any evidence of malice, but we can agree to disagree.
We wouldn't at our level necessarily. You wouldn't. You can't. It's not just going to be plastered out in the open. I mean, it's a matter of reading to the lines of what people in Washington D.C. think of Trump.
I don't think it's any of that.
Well known.
I don't think it's any of that. I think you'd be hard pressed to make an argument in favor of like malice preventing him from getting a peace deal. I don't think that's the case. But again, we'll agree to disagree. We'll leave it there.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
All right, man. Thanks for coming up. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Uriza, thanks for the $5. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. I enjoy your debates. Uriza, I appreciate you being here. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy. Trista, thanks for the $5. Are we at a dinner table because I'm ready to feast on that smile? Trista, you're just back to back to back. You're efficient. Jack and Piper's mom, thanks for the $5. When this country goes full fascist and turns into Handmaid's Tale, you're going to have a lot of handmaids. You're going to be busy. I'll be your Martha. Oh, God. Oh, man. Well, let's hope that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Let's hope that doesn't happen. Sydney, thanks for the $1. Are you a Peloton? Because I'd ride. Oh, man. She said, I'm sorry, Harry, I'm done now. Jeez Louise. Sarah, Sydney, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Sydney. Thank you. That means a lot. JW, thanks for the $10. Harry, can you please follow me back on Snap? Yes, I've been meaning to do that. I will definitely do that. And Blair, thanks for the $10 as well. Thanks for all you do, and I love watching. Well, again, like to you as well. I appreciate you watching. I'm glad that you enjoy. And finally, Derek, $5. Mod me, please. Love you, bro. I can definitely make you a mod. I think all the mod spaces are filled right now, but if needed, we can... Yeah, we can make that happen. All right, ladies and gents, I'm done. I'm calling it quits for the live tonight. I appreciate you all being here. I'm just like, God, man. Listen, ladies and gents, everybody, I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for joining the live. Make sure to, as I mentioned, drop a follow if you haven't already. We do these lives all the time. We post videos all the time and all that good stuff. I'm going to go ride the Peloton now. I'm going to go lift and things like that, and hopefully not think about this. I post on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, Blue Sky. All of those links are in my bio. So if you want to go follow on other platforms, make sure to check out the bio. You can find everything there. Mean a lot if you could support on all of those different platforms. And of course, guys, have an amazing rest of your night. If it's still Thursday for you, have a great rest of your evening. If it's Friday for you on the East Coast, have a great rest of your morning and day. Have a great Friday. You'll have a wonderful one. Do spend your Friday however fits you best, whether it be relaxing inside with a book, watching some football. Oh no, football is not on Friday. Watching some TV, movie, TV show, or maybe it's going out with friends, family, loved ones, going to a bar, something like that. Go enjoy yourself. Go enjoy your life. I appreciate all of you, and I hope you're doing well. And remember, I care about you. I'm rooting for you, and I'm proud of you. Okay, remember that. Even if you're a Republican, even if you're sitting there typing behind the screens, being like, "God, I hate this guy so much. This guy's a DNC lizard man." I care about you too. I hope you're doing well. All right. So I appreciate you. All right, everybody. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Good night, everybody. Be well. We'll talk soon. Okay.